And welcome everybody to Critical Role, our Thursday night show where a bunch of us nerdy-ass voice actors play Dungeons & Dragons and roll dice and all that fun stuff in between. So for all you new folks, welcome to our chaos. For all you old folks, thanks for welcome back. We have a number of announcements to get through. I'll try and cruise through them as fast as humanly possible, so pardon my phone as a reminder. Oh, Google Docs are a delightful thing. So, starting off, guys, I wanted to direct all you critters out there to our official Twitter, @CriticalRole. For official news and announcements. You're welcome to still tweet at us for individual casts or like cast fun and stuff, but we do have that as our official source of all official announcements and times and like our appearances and stuff like that. That'd be the one to pay attention to. So go to @CriticalRole, follow it, and any important stuff that comes up in the future will be available via that Twitter. So awesome. Next up, this weekend we are all going to be at New York Comic-Con, which is going to be awesome. We have a 2-hour block from noon to 2 p.m. this Saturday, October 12th. Where is it at? Is it at, what's the room?
Oh yeah, that one.
That one? What's the room?
We're by the, it's some weird word, the Wingus stage, the Wunga?
Maybe. It's not on the Google Doc.
You just
Curse you, Google Doc. That's okay.
Just keep talking.
But Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. And then on Sunday, for those who can't make it to the actual convention, we're having an off-site gathering of critters at the wonderful and illustrious comic book store, Forbidden Planet. Yay! That'll be from 2:30 to 4:30. Our time block kind of shifted a little later in the day, but yeah, so 2:30 to 4:30 at Forbidden Planet. We'll be there. We'll be signing autographs and meeting you guys, chatting it up, and actually we'll be debuting our brand new awesome poster here. Exclusively for the New York Comic-Con, our Critical Role poster, which we're super excited about. This was wonderfully designed by one of our fellow critters, Joma Cueto. Make sure I don't mispronounce that if I did.
Joma did the art.
Yeah, Joma did the art, and then Kim Davis did the actual layout and design for the poster. So both of them did an amazing job. We're going to have a bunch of these available. We'll be signing them for you guys, and we'll hope to see you there.
I love it.
That's good.
It's so good in paper.
I know, it's so pretty.
They are pretty sexy.
Did you find out what the room is on Saturday?
It's called we're going to be on the Wikia stage. The Wikia stage.
Wikia stage on Saturday.
Hall 1A.
Near Hall 1A, the Wikia stage at noon to 2 p.m. So come find us on Saturday if you're going to be there.
I did it. I used the internet.
Well done.
Sorry.
That's
Carry on.
Also, a reminder, you guys, a ton of mail was recently received, like just after Christmas. If your gifts weren't seen this last Christmas that we opened, they're probably in this batch. So next Christmas is going to probably be a long haul.
A doozy?
It's going to be a doozy. But we're excited about that. So that'll be first Thursday of November, and so look forward to that happening then. Next update. If you guys haven't been paying attention, we've been having occasional interviews once a week of our cast going up on Geek and Sundry's website. Today we had the Travis's go up, and if you haven't checked them out, you should, because it's a little step into our mindset, our crazy history and background of how this whole thing got started, and silly things ensue. So go read them if you have the chance, if you haven't yet. Or wait till after the show for that. Also, as of today, we now have in the Geek and Sundry store Critical Role keychains and necklaces.
Yeah, we do.
Awesome metal.
It looks so cool.
Pretty rad. I'm really excited. So they're metal and they're awesome, and they're our logo. And if you feel like being as nerdy as we are, want to adorn your keychains with them, they are there, available for your purchase. So. And
they're custom orders, so they make them when you order them. So it's gonna take like a few weeks to get them once you order them, but it's worth it.
Yeah. So those
they gotta come all the way from Craghammer.
You know, the dwarves. Ooh.
Mithril's hard to smelt properly. It takes a while.
PC term is nasty.
A couple of things. LARP the Series, which is one of the live-action series here in Geek and Sundry. Season 2 just premiered today. It's a really, really cool series that is both has moments of drama and comedy that plays into the whole world and lifestyle of the LARPing game systems and the people invested in that. It's a really, really cool series. Check it out if that's your kind of bag. It's good stuff. Really, really funny. Next Monday, bear with me, we're getting through these notes here. Next Monday starts a new show called TPK Monday Nights, where Ivan, our illustrious Ivan, who hosts many wonderful things here, will be running, for the rest of October, running a group of other individuals through the RPG Outbreak Undead. which is actually a really, really cool RPG that Ivan was actually designed and was part of the whole process for us. So it's Monday nights. Check that out for the rest of October to keep in the Halloween theme. People will be probably getting dead repeatedly at the hands of Ivan. So look forward to that. Also, this is the last week that you can buy the hashtag No Shave Till 10K shirts. We have people who are keeping it up. I had to shave for Vin Diesel, but the rest of the month is straight on this now. Partially for my Halloween costume and for this wonderful event. So 20% of all proceeds from those shirts, by the way, goes to the Extra Life charity that we've been supporting. So it also helps out good people.
I drew that shirt, by the way, of Travis's face.
Beautiful.
I had to look at his face for like 12 hours.
You're welcome.
We've already hit 9100, so Protocol 95, you are our first winner of the
Protocol
night.
95, congratulations! You will be winning the first bundle, which, by the way, every 100 subscribers we get to, there will be another giveaway within the chat room. So you have to be active in the chat to be, to be up for it. But that includes a cast photo signed by the whole cast of Critical Role, possibly signed while he's wearing that awesome beard.
Potentially.
And also a wonderful piece of art from our main artist, Kit Buss, also signed by the cast of Critical Role. So every 100 subscribers, that giveaway goes out in the chat room. Be active and bring your friends on to subscribe so you can probably win one. Be good. Last thing I want to mention, and this has been a question that's come up quite a bit, and some people are definitely eager to hear the information. So I had the pleasure Monday this week of designing and running a very, very quick game of Dungeons and Dragons for Vin Diesel.
What?
Which was, let's just cross that bucket list item off immediately. That was ridiculous. So it was a lot of fun. He was fantastic and super awesome and genuine. I was really excited to know that he was as
rolled
cool.
this die. It's sacred.
That was literally bucket list too. That was like one of the things we discussed when this game started. It's like it could lead to a game with Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
fact,
Never know.
I bet if you go back and look at the Q&A session we had, someone asked our dream
Yeah, I
Players,
think we had
yeah.
said.
game crew.
Vin
and I think we
Diesel
said Vin
was
Diesel.
one of our bucket list items
Yeah.
for players. So we've already knocked one off on the show. Not even
Done it.
6 months.
Closer, like a group mass suicide at this
Yeah.
point.
Get matching tennis shoes and it'll be great.
I just
He
want to
didn't
know.
seem that excited though.
Yeah, I'm not
Didn't
really.
seem that into it.
Look at the video. He's kind
We
of
can already
blasé.
announce that next Thursday at the midpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next Thursday at the midpoint of next week's Critical Role, we're going to be showing a mostly complete video of that entire game. We're going to probably leave it on a cliffhanger. The full one will be released shortly thereafter. But next week on Critical Role during the midpoint, we're going to be showing you a majority of that game session with him. So
Can I
don't
ask,
miss
The
that.
premiere.
can I get a teaser? What did Matthew? What did he smell like? Did he,
Vin Diesel,
Iron.
Like
Glory.
like muscle.
Like strength.
like a warrior?
he smelt like
Antifreeze Nitrous. and lilac.
all of those. All of those answers at
Like
once.
Dragon's
It was
Bane.
a
Child's tears.
majestic scent that man carries with him.
That's awesome.
Like a
You guys go check it out.
It was delightful.
And grandma's
Yeah.
breath.
So we'll have interviews going up for Nerdist throughout the week. Exclusively here next week on Thursday, you'll be seeing most of that game here, and then more stuff to come out for the week thereafter. So really, really excited about that. And I custom made a Witch Hunter class for him that I tailored just for that level. And there's been such a wide response from everyone asking about the class that I've now spent a lot of my free time that I'm not preparing for this game, now customizing a homebrew Witch Hunter class for all of you guys to partake in. So that'll be fun and probably coming out sometime next week. It'll probably be broken. You're welcome to homebrew my homebrew. It's not perfect. I'm not perfect, but it should be fun and a cool guide for some people to give it a shot as a player class. So look forward to that. Liam, you got a couple things to announce?
Yeah, just two things. Real quick, I wanted to thank every critter who helped out with Joe Madureira's Kickstarter, with Airship Syndicate's Kickstarter for Battle Chasers Night War. They crushed it. They got to almost every rung of their ladder. Maybe you guys could help them raise 100K tonight. I don't know. But Joe told me that they saw a little bit of a bump every Thursday and that our role-playing power had some effect. So thank you, guys. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
critters.
Because we are many.
We got Legion.
The other thing is tomorrow is Sam Riegel's birthday.
Oh my God.
Is it really?
Yes,
And I have a birthday present for him tonight.
What?
Something that I commissioned
Can we do that on
the
stream?
lovely Kit Bus to make for you.
What? It's Vaxmas?
It's Christmas. Here it is. I'm going to send it across and then I'll tweet it out. You guys can look, but I made this just for you.
I'm not looking. I'm not
I
looking.
made this just for you, and I made this.
Oh wow, that's really nice. I thought it was gonna be vulgar. That's great. Wow.
It's really cool.
That's so sweet.
Kid Bus, why are you the best?
Charming the pants off a few.
Wow, and thank you, Kid Bus.
Kid Bus,
This is
killing
lovely.
it. as
Me and
usual.
2 ladies. What could be better, right?
Yeah.
I guess 3 ladies.
3 ladies.
I don't know how to put this up, but thank you. That's so sweet.
That's fantastic.
Aw. I won't kill you tonight.
Fun fact: Sam shares a birthday with my mom.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I'll never forget your birthday ever.
And John Lennon.
And John Lennon.
So happy birthday, Orion's mom.
Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah, happy birthday, Sam.
And happy
Penelope.
unbirthday to Sam's mom, who is also a critter. And you should go and
And-
follow her on Twitter.
Mom
Yeah.
Lennon.
Yeah.
Momlin.
She's not
Mama.
effing around either. Way up in this.
I know.
She retweets me a lot.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm
Well,
flattered every time.
any other announcements anyone wants to go forward, or shall we dive
I
in?
have one.
Yes.
So I got nominated for a Golden Joystick Award.
Really?
Yeah. For Fiona and Tales from the Borderlands.
That's awesome. Congrats.
And I think
Nice.
there's
You
like
didn't know this?
I didn't tell her. I think there's like a week left. There's a week left of voting, so yeah, you can go and
Here they go.
help out.
Wait, they
Good
can
job.
vote for you? They can vote for
They
you?
can vote. Yeah, so they can vote
Can
for
they
me.
vote many times?
I don't
choice.
know. I think you have to like register your email address, so I don't know how many times you can
Probably
vote.
just
But
once.
you have to vote for all the categories in
Probably
order to vote for the one category. So
Probably go
it's
back
it's a thing, but
Here
it's
they go. Congratulations,
thanks,
Laura.
Abby.
As Orion says, release the critters.
It's awesome. So go show your support for
Yeah.
for Fiona and
Yeah.
awesome. Well, then let's go ahead and let's bring the mood back to our realm of imagination and fantasy, and we'll be back here in just a minute with the beginning of this night's Critical Role.
What did I miss last week?
Is that tonight?
Welcome back. So, to get you guys caught up in what happened recently, the group, having heard that the Briarwoods, a couple who had taken power in the town of Whitestone, far to the northeast, and apparently responsible for the destruction of Percy's entire family and his escape into the wilds of Taldore, were going to be coming to Iman to bridge a political handshake with Sovereign Uriel and all of Taldore proper to build a bridge across the channel that separates this continent from Wildmount across the sea. Upon hearing about this, the party was planning to, after being invited to this banquet, gather information, and in the process doing so, Vax got himself caught by sneaking into their bedroom after them and was nearly killed in the process. The group managed to aid him, pull him out from the jaws of death, and the Briarwoods escaped through arcane means, leaving a shattered carriage, a mostly beaten driver of their carriage, and through the scuffle a number of guards were hurt or killed, and the party, upon meeting an individual named Lilith, a tiefling, and leading her back to the keep, they were attacked, or seemingly attacked, by a series of bounty hunters that were after her. There was some intense violence displayed against a few of them, and this all got back to the council. The council then called Vox Machina to the central palace and essentially began the structure of a trial to see if they themselves were responsible for essentially attacking guests of the council, ruining what could have been a very lucrative union between the two towns, and possibly murdering an old woman. So they had their membership revoked, and during this sequence, apparently the charmed Seeker Asum was restored, but seemingly to little effect. The group then left, realizing that perhaps the moral ramifications of many of their actions are having bigger impact due to their visibility and their heroic status in the kingdom at large. When they returned to the keep, they found 2 representatives of the northern farmers of Iman that required aid. A series of their livestock had been stolen over the past few weeks and was putting them in dire straits when it came to the necessary amount of meat they had to raise. The group, trying to kind of turn their morality on its head, decided to aid this, awaited out in the center of the cow pasture at night, masquerading through illusionary magic as cows themselves, of which
Best plan ever.
the giant rock, a gargantuan bird that swooped down and grabbed Keylith here, swept her away. The rest of the party, Tiberius then enabled to fly through arcane means, and thus we had a squadron of evening cows chasing after the rock, which then got turned into a cow to crash into a mountain. They chased it back to its perch up in the cliffside mountains to the northwest of Iman.
Such an old trope in fantasy.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah. Cows.
Camouflage.
Chestnut.
And engaged apparently a guardian of this rock, a gnome druid who had been removed from society for quite some time. After some rather roundabout and at some points on the edge of conflict conversation, they managed to convince him to instead take the bird and flee across the Osmit Sea to the northwest towards Vasselheim, where it would be a much better landscape for the creature to thrive and grow. And after that, the party is making their way back, in right around, I'd say, beginning of daybreak, towards the keep. So that is where we left off. Percy.
Yes. Hello.
Darkness. Cold, lonely darkness. A flicker of light. It swells, bright, white, blinding, then flashes of your family, screaming. Julius, silenced by a bolt to the throat. Vesper, thrown from a tower wall. Your younger brother's lifeless bodies tossed in a pile, the smell of death filling your cell. Your father, Frederick, a blade jutting from his chest, slick with crimson. Your mother, Johanna, burned with iron, screaming. Cassandra running towards you, calling your name into the night, begging you to help. 1, 2, 3 arrows. She falls. Darkness once more. Darkness and red. Red of blood. Red of burning fire. The sky is fire. The world burns with flame and iron. The smoke rises from the cinders, coalescing into a face. Black as soot with eyes as burning coals. And a wicked grin. It speaks with a raspy, rumbling bass, like a slow-moving landslide.
You hold your vengeance, Percival. You made it. You only need to take it for yourself. Make the world right. My gift is yours, and your gift shall bring justice. Our bargain stands eager to close.
You suddenly come to consciousness, gasping loudly against the air. You feel the warmth of the forge across the side of the workshop calling across your face. You are sitting at your workbench, having fallen asleep amidst a pile of contraptions in mid-construction. As you look around, you can see your leather gloves are still on you. You are apron on, black and soot spread across your face, and a series of things you were in mid-build on just broken before you on your workshop table.
How long have I been here?
There's nobody in the room and you have no idea. You're underground, subterranean in the workshop. You haven't seen the sun probably for a good day and a half. And
it's a new day. I didn't waste it at all.
You have no idea quite how long you've been down here, and you've been left alone for quite some time.
I'm gonna head upstairs.
Okay. You go and you open the metallic door that leads into your workshop and come around the corner. And there's a chair set in the corner where Jarrett would be sitting. Jarrett, one of the head guards of the facility. Jarrett, however, is instead standing, hands up to his throat, going with no visible assailant.
Not Jarrett.
Help! Help! Help!
Are we there?
We're not there.
No, we're not even there.
I want you to go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh shit! It's already started.
Trinket's.
Trinket was down there.
Was
No, he is here. Don't say that.
What are you doing?
just saying the trinket died already.
Natural 20, 28.
Really? On the
And that's
first
how
roll?
Percy does
Look
it.
at it. Look at that.
What is with that dice in you, man?
We're
Yes.
in it already.
how you start a
Good. Feels good.
You are the yin to Will Wheaton's
I was
yang.
gonna say he was sitting here. So.
He was sitting here just like 20 minutes ago.
We're
Yeah.
here to keep the universe
Actually,
from
it
imploding.
wasn't at
I
this,
rubbed him for
it
luck
wasn't
when
at
he
this
was leaving
table.
the
They use a
building.
different table. We're
Just
fine.
a little rub for luck.
It's a different table. We're good.
No, it's
Here
good.
we
It's
go.
good.
It's
We have
good.
him. It's balance.
There we go.
You're Barons.
We need him. He's Barons.
Yeah, you have Barons.
Barons?
What's wrong with Barons?
You must practice Barons.
Alrighty.
Alright, that's what I'm
So what's
saying.
your total?
Barons.
What's your total?
28.
20. You are definitely
Going first.
okay.
Bad stone, like reach.
All right. So you're up first. What do you want to do? As you come around the corner and you see this visual in front of you. You want to go ahead and roll for trinket too.
Ooh,
Hey.
you win this.
Oh no.
So I just see him up like this.
Just,
19.
you look down. 19? Nice. All right.
Does it, just for some reference, does it look like he's possessed, or does it look like he's trying to remove something?
Looks like he's trying to move something around his neck, and looking down, you could see his feet are actually off the ground, kicking. It looks like there's a little bit of like air wisping around behind him.
How insane would it be to try and make a shot beneath his legs?
You can certainly go for it and try.
I'm going to drop down, and I'm actually. Can I make an aimed shot against something I can't see?
You can try. It'll be with disadvantage, but you can definitely make it.
Is this in the kitchen?
Yeah, I got
No,
3
it's
shots.
downstairs.
Can I make a request that
in
the
our
rest of us
Chelsea.
do the sounds of the ricocheting bullets in case he misses?
Certainly.
Okay, I want 5.1 though, so start here and make it all the way down. Okay, so
You're not gonna miss, so it doesn't matter.
I'm going to take an aim shot for my first shot, and then just start firing blank.
Okay.
Aim
This is
shot.
Disadvantage against an invisible assailant.
No, that's.
Would you say it misses?
I'm just making. I missed. I'm just making sure I didn't hit a misfire. No, I didn't. Thank God.
Okay.
So.
So what's the total?
You have to do it.
What? Jesus Christ.
Total of 15.
Try again.
Still hits.
Still hits.
Yes.
Still hits.
Hey, hit, we didn't miss.
Take it
Good.
back.
Wow.
Okay, inhale ricochet.
I'm sorry. I'm still
I'm
not
totally
ready
lost.
together.
Rick.
So. Oh, that's
No?
16 points of damage,
Alrighty.
and
shot at
he has
nothing.
to make a Constitution saving throw to not be knocked prone.
Okay, what's the DC on that?
Where's my DC? Let's see. What does it say? DC 8 plus my proficiency mod plus my dexterity mod. So 8 plus 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19.
Sure enough, you see all of a sudden the air go, and whip for a second, and Jarrett falls to his knees.
I'm going to take 2 more shots right above his head.
Go for it.
Don't hit Jared.
Jarrett's on his knees, like prone, essentially, right
You
now.
can still hit Jared. He's our best guy.
That's
Still have
20.
disadvantage on these, by the way.
I don't?
No, you still have disadvantage on these. Because it is still an invisible creature.
20.
20 hits.
What's the point of it?
That's 13.
13 does not hit.
No, 13 points of damage.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, please, 20 again.
20 hits.
9 points of damage.
9 points damage. The gunshots are echoing through the hallway. Whatever this weird entity is, you can see some of the nearby cloth and dust kind of swirl up from its movement. You hear this kind of angry sucking sound in the air around you. Do you want to move or you stay where you are?
I'm gonna stay where I am.
Okay.
And I'm gonna just keep yelling. So,
Okay.
help! Help!
All right, so for this turn...
I don't think I have an earring.
You see another... some sort of shift of wind come around the corner towards you. This one turns around and
No! Through the
to go
bars!
over to the bars, and you can see in the distance it's moving over towards where your captive currently is.
Where the Vox Machina is, relative to where the keep is, how far away are we?
Into that.
Poop!
At the end of this combat round, we'll say for now, all of you guys are right towards the outskirts of the keep, and you hear the muffled ringing of gunshots from the inside of the keep.
We do
Time
hear
to
that.
get it
You
going.
do hear this as you're
I'm
like
sure
just getting
it's
to the outer
nothing.
gate.
He's probably tinkering.
Nevertheless,
As soon as I hear that, I'll cast fire myself and just.
okay, we'll get to that.
Are you wearing an earring, Percy?
I don't think I am.
Damn it.
Sorry, it's not.
the one that doesn't have-
The entity that swishes down the stairs and comes at you. That's going to be a 22
That hits.
and a 12.
That does not.
All right. It swings towards you and gets a giant slam of extremely condensed air with like a raking claw impact hits you in the torso, doing 15 points of damage against you, bludgeoning damage. The other one swings out in the same direction, though. At this time, you actually pull off to the side and knock it out of the way with your pepper box. The one back there is going to attempt to grapple. Succeeds. Alrighty. That's its action now, and you can see now the driver that you had last you had put into prison is currently being now basically gurgling, strangling sounds in the distance. That ends it. Trinket's up.
Trinket! I guess he can see Percy getting attacked, and instinct takes over, and he runs forward, and he claws him.
All right, go ahead and roll for the attacks.
Thank you.
It's rabbits.
That does not hit. That's a natural 20.
Yes.
That will hit.
Yeah.
So,
It begins.
Ambidextrous.
Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. That's a 2d4.
Correct.
Yes.
So roll 2d4 and then multiply those by 2.
17 damage.
17 damage. Nice. Trinket runs up, kind of coming out of his somewhat sleeping stupor. Goes for a bite attack and just grabs nothing, but then turns around and just rakes a claw backwards and manages to get the back of whatever this entity is, and you hear it scream. You do at least.
I have a technical dispute really quickly.
Yes?
Could the Wraith have gotten that far since I knocked him prone?
Yes, it could have, because it moves half its movement speed.
Oh,
to get up.
thank you. Never mind.
Movement is actually 50.
Ignore me.
So yes.
50!
Oh my gosh! I didn't know that.
Not that you know that.
Not that I know that.
But it moved far for what you think it should have been able to.
By the way, for the record, Matthew, I have no idea what we're fighting.
No?
Nobody knows.
I'm just saying, I haven't metagame.
Congrats. I'm proud of you.
That's
Growing. Fresh start.
I'm proud of you.
New day. New day.
Jarrett then gets up, sees this happening, moves over, and pulls out the key to begin to try and open the prison door. Spends the turn doing so, manages to get the door open. That's the end of Jarrett's turn. Okay, so that brings us... Now, the rest of you guys roll initiative.
Okay. Come on, you giant ball bearing.
That
Damn.
does that count if I hit it in my box and it just slammed into the side? Does that count? Or
Hey-o.
should I let it roll naturally?
Let it roll naturally. No, well, I mean, that would normally count. It's fine. Wherever it lands, you take it. Just going forward. So.
Okay. I won't roll the big one.
All right, so 25 to 20.
Huh?
Oh, we're
17.
Oh, we're doing
Initiative,
this.
yeah.
Oh,
Guys,
what?
you guys,
Keep up, people. Keep up.
guys
Come
are,
on.
you guys are now. You hear the gunshot. You're
We're running,
entering
dude.
this intense.
I don't think it's anything.
Okay.
I think it's just him tinkering.
So Scanlan stays behind.
Oh.
All right, so 25 to 20, 20 to 15. All right, what is your scores? All right, 15.
Fitting.
It's got a pencil in
17.
my eye.
16, sorry.
16 too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all, by the way, for leaving a bear on suicide watch. That was really cool.
You're welcome.
Really cool.
Well, because if you wanted to pet
Honestly,
something,
when
it would be cuddly.
You would be this pet.
And it would be nice.
The grog you were
Therapy
searching
bear.
for.
When he
15.
started
15.
talking about the guy choking, I was like, oh my god, is
Max, what'd you get
Jared
again?
hanging himself?
Max.
This is what's happening
17?
right now.
I guess I'm.
I'm that emo.
All right. And
15. You got 15.
15 Tiberius up there. And what'd you get, Max?
15.
All right, two free 15s. All right.
15.
I got 3. Just that.
You got 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
With my. I don't have any initiative. Oh shit, you don't.
All right, so you guys all spin your turn, if you choose to rush through the gates. As soon as the gunshots go off, you can see Shane's up on top, and she sees this and gives a quick turn, and you can see the gates begin to open. You hear this angry grunting as your orc guard is pulling the doors open as fast as you can. You guys find a moment and slip through, running towards the front of the keep. You guys manage to get, with full dash and full turn, including your flight, because you fly a little bit faster, but you had a little more of an arc to get over. You guys get to the front of the keep this turn, so you won't get into this until next round.
Okay.
That brings us back to the top. Percy, you're up.
There's no way I can fire at the one who's far away from me right now, is there?
It's hard to see.
But Jared's got him.
I can ignore cover, though.
You can ignore cover, but it's still, you have this entity in front of you. I mean, you'll be at disadvantage regardless.
So I'm just
You're shooting something invisible, and you have something that's in melee of you, and you have a ranged weapon, so...
I'm gonna see if there's a charge left in my glove and try and take the. There wouldn't be a charge left in my glove, would it? It's
You,
DOA right
you glance
now.
down at the glove, and you can see the gemstone in the center of the palm is currently dark and noiseless.
Okay. Hold on, sorry.
And the hammer, motherfuck.
It gets weird when it's up close. Okay, let's see what we do. All right. I'm going to just. There's no way I can step back right now, is there?
Currently, I mean, you can if you want to. It'll get a free strike on you. But
Okay,
yeah.
I'm just gonna try and take shots then
Okay.
at it. I'm just gonna fire
The one in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. With disadvantage on each shot.
Firing with disadvantage. Screw it. I'm gonna take my first one with a sharpshooter just to see if I can do any damage.
Okay.
Anyway. No.
Okay.
That's a misfire.
So the pepper box, you go to shoot, and there you go. The actual barrel gets clogged, and there's a burst of flame that rattled the flame section. The front actually catches fire for a second, and you kind of have to like shake it out. But right now, it's like completely offset, and it's going to take a moment for you to even get it to a point where you can fire again.
Okay.
Don't have to do it every. No, we do.
Do I have 6 seconds?
No, we have.
You do. You've used one attack. You have 2 more attacks, but
I don't have time to. Well, it misfired, so that's.
yeah, that weapon you have to use an action to repair.
Okay, I'm going to do something a little weird.
Okay.
I'm going to pull out bad news. I know I can't shoot this close with it, or God only knows what would happen. I'm going to try and swing it like a pugil stick, and I'm just going to try and hit him with the blunt of bad news.
Okay.
Yes!
Go ahead and make a melee attack. This is strength based.
Oh boy.
So add your proficiency modifier and your strength modifier.
Get him.
15.
Still have disadvantage on it, because you can't see it.
Roll high.
And you're not proficient.
15.
Nice.
15 just barely hits. All right, so go ahead and roll. I'll say 1d with the size of bad news. I'd say 1d6
Yeah.
plus your strength modifier.
4.
Okay, so 4 points of damage as you whack bludgeon it with your. So if you took a turn, take it out as your third attack is then slamming it in the side. Whatever entity you smack, it's poof, pushed against the wall. You're afraid. Just go ahead and roll a d20 for me. Just.
Huh?
14.
Okay. So the impact does not appear to damage bad news in this instance.
Yay!
It is a fragile, construct, and even doing melee attacks with it does subject it to a misfire possibility as
swing.
actually.
I hit it with the stock. I was careful.
I know.
Hit him with the stock.
Okay, so that concludes your turn.
Yeah. I'm kind of. Yeah.
Okay, you see there. All right, the one that's in front of you now is going to go ahead and kind of go over this way, trinket. Well, no, it's still a melee, so it doesn't actually get an attack. It does get 2 strikes on you. That is a 17.
Nope.
And that is 18.
I'm 18. Armor class is 18.
So it does just hit you.
Can I do that crazy thing?
No, that's been I've eliminated that.
Oh, you removed that. Okay, never mind. I don't have the new update. Sorry.
Oh, I gotta get that for you.
I don't have a dodge anymore, right?
No, the dodge is not there because it really came in.
It was really
Do you have a forward instead?
Okay, so that puts you at another 15 points of bludgeoning damage as it smacks you right across the head. Your eyes kind of go dizzy for a second, and you take a minute to refocus your vision, and you can now see in the air this shimmering expression that looks like a humanoid face just stretched and ghastly going in front of you, but it's still barely even visible, and only because of the proximity are you able to actually make out any sort of shape or shimmer in the air in front of you. The other one is attempting to go ahead and make a. It's going to attempt to choke out your prisoner.
Choke out the prisoner. What?
Yeah, he's trying to kill the prisoner.
Versus his.
What?
However,
shit.
the prisoner resists
Kills that
through
guy,
athletics.
No,
It's currently like holding back at bay the strength of the entity.
Man, I've been looking at like.
So that ends its turn. Trinket's up.
Trinket's up. He's gonna try to jump
Did you learn
and
how to
land
say
on
sit?
top of the ghostly thing and bite its face.
All right, go for it. So roll.
I don't know how to do that.
Well, to do like a real leap, Trinket would have to back up and then run towards it.
Okay.
The Trinket wants to do that because he gets.
Yeah.
Okay. So Trinket backs up. Kind of, as it does, it gets one free swipe at Trinket.
Oh.
That is a 18 to hit.
I am having an issue here
Okay.
because I have 18 in parentheses and then I wrote a 20 and I circled it and I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
18 is probably-
Yeah, we'll say 18.
Okay.
Okay, so that hits. Trinket takes 15 points of bludgeoning damage as the
Poor
energy
Trinket.
sweeps out and like backhands Trinket as it backs. However, Trinket now leaps. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
He has better armor class than I do.
He does.
Does he have armor?
He does. He's got his bullet armor, man. He's getting a cannonball. What am I doing? A strength?
Athletics. So yeah, it would be
17?
17.
Yeah.
And yeah, Trinket leaps forward, slamming this entity onto the ground, knocking it prone, and you get to go ahead and make a bite attack.
Yes! That didn't count because it slipped out of my hand. That was even worse than the other one.
Good.
So 11. It slipped out of my hand. It should have counted if it goes like that.
You're
well,
white.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 20.
So Trinket manages to knock it prone, however, because it gets pushed out of the way and Trinket has a hard time, Trinket just makes a big slash and a bite out in the air where it once was and misses entirely.
But he's got him prone.
But
That's
it
what you
is
get.
knocked prone. Jared's now going to attempt to
Wait, Trinket missed?
He missed
grapple
it.
the entity.
Oh.
Jarrett manages to reach out and grab on whatever this creature is and hold on
Jarrett!
to it. It's like this chain of grappling and is going to attempt to try and pull it back. For this, I will do a contested roll on that. I rolled a 1. Jarrett pulled it back that far, managing to let go of its quarry and is currently holding on to some sort of angry, whirling entity at that point. That ends Jarrett's turn. The rest of you guys
Or our guest at this point.
I'm just gonna move all my
just
dice
managed to
out.
make your way up into the armory up top. First is Vex. You rush in there. And what do you want to do?
I want to run down and shoot something.
Okay. You can get just about there.
Can I see anything? Can I
You could-
ricochet an arrow to hit?
I would say you have this guy's 3/4 cover.
Uh-huh.
So it would be
Disadvantage?
disadvantage on the attack.
Triple.
Okay.
He's like a pool player.
It's already at disadvantage because it's invisible, so it's just one of those, like, it's just hard to
It's
hit
just a real
regardless.
shitty.
Yeah.
didn't know that
Okay.
the whole time.
That was the same,
Same
on
thing,
each time.
twice.
28.
Hey, Ryan.
28? 28 hits.
We have those?
Oh, mere children.
Oh, I didn't fucking hunter's mark him.
Nope.
God damn it.
Good coffee.
Fuck.
Yeah, kind of
15.
15 points of damage. The first arrow sinks into whatever is there, and you can see it just kind of jutting out of no physical space.
Now I'm gonna hunter's mark him, and I'm gonna hit him again. Can I do that?
Technically, it's part of your attack to do 2 attacks first, and
Ow.
then you can bonus action.
Oh.
So you're like, and then you can hunter's mark after. So.
All right. That one doesn't hit. Doesn't matter.
Did
Doesn't
you
hit
miss?
him anyway. I
Okay.
missed it.
Second, second shot just shatters against the back wall of stone. You can hunter's mark if you wish with your
I
bonus.
hunter's mark him.
All right. That entity is now hunter's marked. That ends Vex's turn. Keylith, you now also make your way into the doorway.
How far can I get?
Thanks.
Hi, Queenie.
About there.
Thanks,
Nothing's in visual sight right now, unfortunately.
Nothing's in visual sight.
No, not with full. Like half of that was getting to that point. You could dash and try and make your way in, but you wouldn't be able to do anything.
Can I dash and then make a bonus action?
You could, yeah.
Hello.
Recall. What you got? Grog, you're on deck.
I'll just wait.
Okay. Keylith waits there. Grog, you're up. You managed to just charge. You have a.
Let me scooch over so I can be behind Vex.
There. Okay.
Or Vex.
Vex.
You have a little better movement, so you actually managed to get 2 more squares in. What's your speed again? It's
50.
50. Okay, yeah, you managed to get up to there, and now your turn begins.
I go into a rage, and I come in and I turn to the right, and I run up as close as I can to Jared and
Jared.
yeah, Jared. Wispy fuck.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you just charge in, angry. You see Jared's like currently reaching back and trying to go for his crossbow. Now his energy is like in his face. He's just he's grappled it with one arm, and he's like reaching back to try and grab it. You come rushing in. Go for it.
I take out a holy oil vial out of the bag of holding. I crush it in my hand, and I take a swing at whatever he's holding.
Yeah.
Ew.
Cool. So as you pull out,
Holy
you
punch.
can see the pain from the glass even just further angers you. You can see a mix of holy water and blood trickle down from your fist as you clench it. Go ahead and swing for a punch at disadvantage.
Oh.
That's a 1.
So that first strike just woofs over. Through your anger, you're unable to focus on where this entity may be.
Not to a good start with this.
No.
Number 2. Disadvantage. Fuck. You're not.
Different dice.
What's the total there?
Switch.
15.
15 just barely hit.
Hey!
Go ahead and roll.
These guys?
Go ahead and roll that half that damage. Yes.
1.
Plus rage.
Plus rage, which is
Plus strength.
3. Oh, right. So.
Who has a freaking laser?
8.
So 8 points of damage to it. Alrighty. Whack! It hits, and you hear this sound as it takes the impact. And you can see this like kind of strange, angry face appear suddenly out of the shimmering air that just then disperses again, and you don't quite know where it is. You make a third strike now if you want.
Did it do any holy damage?
Did not appear to have any additional effect on the edge.
Well, hell, it was worth a shot. At disadvantage.
Oh.
19.
19 still hits. Go ahead
Yes.
and roll next attack.
8 again.
8 damage again. Whack! You backhand it with your third strike. This time, finding the edge of its face again. You see the chair right next to it kind of tumble as it barely manages to catch itself and keep itself aloft. Nevertheless, this strange, invisible entity is still there, holding its ground.
Would you say the blood from my hand is splattering Jared behind him?
From we go over to Jared. Jared is currently trying to grab onto the creature and keep it
right.
grappled. So yeah, it's kind of spattering on him. And
I'm a painter.
all right, that ends Grog's turn. Vax and Tiberius, you guys both just get up to the edge of this room here.
Your cape is looking really nice, Vax.
I'm clicking my boots of haste, and I get double movement, so I get to go 60 feet.
Yep.
So I'm gonna slink right up beside Trinket and stab the shit out of this invisible thing.
Oh, stab him! Stab him!
There.
Hey, what do they look like?
All right.
So because
I'm
Trinket's right there, this is a sneak attack. That hits. That is 29 to hit.
That'll hit. it is prone. It is invisible, but it is prone, so that evens out to just no advantage disadvantage.
3, 4 is 7, is 11, is 14, 16.
New math.
Yeah.
See, now where am I at? It's 19 for a total of 25 for the first hit.
25. All right.
Yes.
I have to double it?
It's only if it's
You have to double 19.
No, he didn't. That's a critical hit.
Oh,
That's a
right.
critical
Just a
hit.
sneak attack edition.
One shy.
Got
All
it.
right, so now out comes the dagger of life. No, I don't roll that one. Lice. Yes, of life
Makes that
stealing.
his really
It
itchy.
misses, so then I come back. Well, does 15 hit?
Just barely hits.
Just barely hits.
Yes.
Oh, that's better than I thought. That is 3 plus 6 is 9 for damage.
Alrighty.
And then the keen dagger comes back, whoop, and that gets a 27, so that also hits.
Yep.
For 9 of damage.
All right. So as you rush over, you stab downward. You hear this sound as your blade comes down into whatever entity there. Your hand kind of moves around as it struggles against the blade. You pull it out, grab your other dagger, and throw it in the air, catch it, slam it down again for the third strike, and then pull back and stab a third time.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
And Trinket is very comforting, pressed against my shoulder as I do all that.
He's like,
so supple. He's supple.
Supple bear. Hashtag supple bear.
Hashtag supple bear.
All right, that ends your turn. Tiberius, what are you doing?
How far can I get up?
he's still
can
alive-ish?
He's right.
That's about as far as you can get with your movement. You currently do not have visual on either of them. Well, you're flying. What's your fly speed?
60 feet.
Infinite.
You said that last time, and we found it was 40, I believe, wasn't it?
Was it 40?
No.
I thought it was 60. It was double the... Shit. Hold on. No, I have it. I have a card.
Go to the Old Testament.
You have a card, and yet I find it fast.
60 feet.
Flying speed of 60. It is 60. You're right.
It's 60 feet.
Yeah, so you can go double. So you're now just like coasting down the stairway.
I'm going to attempt something I haven't actually tried before.
All right, go for it.
I'm going... Because there's one to my right and one to my left, right?
Correct. There's one over here that has Grog and Jarrett kind of flanking the other one that has Percy, Vax, and Trinket all around it. And that one's actually prone on the ground. It's kind of hard. It's hard to see normally. It's very hard to see now that it's like swarmed.
So I'm like, am I visual? Do I have visual of both wraiths?
You have visual of both entities, whatever they are.
Okay, sorry. I'm calling them wraiths because they're like. Okay, so I'm going to cast at.
Have we rested, by the way?
Nope.
No, you have not rested yet.
So
we've
we're
been up
down
all
a
night.
bunch of spells.
Yeah, you're still where you were when you came back.
Well, to be fair, we talked. We didn't have a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some of us use
Well, at least,
I'm good.
There's flies
What'd
and
you do?
stuff.
Which I'm gonna try to do this right now. I'm going to look to my right and my left, and at 6th level, I'm gonna try to do glacial blast and split the damage, and try to hit both of them, because it does 8d8 damage.
Are you doing the single stream?
I'm trying to split my arc, so I'm trying to instead of doing this, I'm trying to.
Okay.
Something I haven't done before. I haven't tried.
So how much damage is it?
At 6th level, it's 8d8 damage.
Okay. And what's the saving throw?
Is 17.
17. Okay. Jarrett and Vax have to make saving throws as well. On
Using
this.
evasion.
So go and make that, Jarrett. Rolled an 18 for and has a high dex. Yeah, Jarrett makes saving throws. It's half damage for Jarrett.
28 for me.
All right, so you take
Zippo.
no damage because you're a rogue. And so go roll damage. That's 18 for one. And
Right hand. Left hand.
this one fails. This one succeeds.
Cool. Right hand does.
That's a 10.
Oh, sweet.
That's a D10. No. That's a D10. These are D8s.
Sorry. My bad.
It's actually not prone. You're being prone.
That's a D8, right?
That is a D8.
Okay, cool. Right hand, the
Can't be
8,
what?
the 10, plus that's 14 to my right, and then 18 to my left.
So how much is that?
So 14 to my right, 18 to my left.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
The one that doesn't save gets
it would if it wasn't immune.
who?
However, as you arc down, the ice blast comes through. You can see Vax manages to pull down to the ground and get out of the way in time. Jarrett ducks out of the way and just blasts over, hitting both these entities. Ice crackles around both their forms, but then the forms kind of shift out of it. That ends your turn right there. Comes back to Scanlan.
Oh, where am I?
You are right there. You just entered the room behind everybody else.
Where does Percy do his tinkering?
Over here.
Because I can't see what's going on down there.
Oh, you just see currently these three down the hallway. You
So-
just see Tiberius like blast a bunch of ice arc in the air.
Okay, so I know there's shit going on down there, but I can't really see what. So I would probably just dimension door into the tinkering room because that's where I assume Percy is.
Okay.
And then I kind of see what's going on, and nobody's there. Do I still have line? Do I have line of sight on anybody? Can I see through the door?
Currently, you see Percy through this doorway right there.
Okay. Well, then I will. I can't move. I can move also. Can
You can move as well. Yeah, Dimension Door is your
I'll
action.
I'll move towards him,
All right.
and then. Oh, then I see a crazy thing in front of me.
Yep. Yes, you do.
Shit. So I probably take a couple steps back.
Okay.
And then I'll just inspire Percy.
Alrighty.
Fight the good fight. All the single Percys. All the single Percys. All the single Percys. Put your guns up.
Teach an inspiration dice to you, Percy.
What is that? It's a D10?
D10, yeah. That brings us to the top of the combat round. Percy, you're up first.
I'm going to use my action to try and clear my gun.
Okay. So go ahead and make your check.
That's, what is that again? Did it change since last time?
That one shouldn't have changed, no.
Okay, so it's, let's see, 11. I'm adding my bonus die. Damn it.
What'd you roll?
9.
9. As you pull over your pepper box, you're like, ping! The actual barrel comes off and hits the ground, ting, 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 and rolls off towards the back of the room.
Fuck!
I'm tossing it into my room.
Okay.
I'm using an action surge.
That's fine.
Actually, can I even do that? Yes, I'm going to use my action surge, and I'm going to walk over to the wraith on the ground, put the barrel of bad news up to it, and pull the trigger.
The wraith is no longer on the ground, by the way.
Is he not?
The entity actually, upon looking, is immune to being prone. So we won't retcon anything, but as you go pull the barrel up, you can see now the face is standing up before you.
I'm just going to try and shove it until I hit something and then pull.
Okay, so go ahead and roll disadvantage with
Okay.
bad news.
22.
22 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Shit. We're all gonna go deaf.
Oh man, that's gonna be loud as fuck.
Uh, 19.
19. Bad news goes off. The sound is deafening in the room. The echoing of the explosion through the stone walls. I'm gonna go ahead and have you roll a Constitution saving throw.
Vax or Liam?
No, Vax, both, baby.
What now?
Constitution saving throw.
Constitution saving
If you
throw,
fail,
okay.
I get to scream in your ear.
That is a 15.
A 15, okay. You don't go deaf, but your ears are ringing very, very hard. The entity screams and then disperses.
Yay!
Nice.
I get a grip point back.
Oh, you do.
Oh.
Dope.
Okay? You still have 2 more attacks. Or you have to use 1 to reload.
I have to use 1 to reload. I have 1 more attack, but I've already... I didn't move. I'm gonna try and roll around the corner and see if I can take another...
Okay,
roll around
so
the
you
corner.
pull around there. Okay.
And I'm going to take a... yeah, just another shot.
Okay.
27.
27 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 19 points of damage.
Okay. This time, the shot goes off right by your head, Tiberius. You're flying in the air, and you look down and see him pull the bad news out right beneath you, and before you have a chance to react, the flash of the muzzle just bursting forward. A big plume of black powder, like just smoke, fills the air around you.
So I see a big flash.
Yes.
Okay, and what do you want? What do I roll?
Make a Constitution saving throw.
Out of control.
Sorry.
That was it.
7.
Okay, you are considered deaf until the start of his next.
Okay, so as soon as I hear I see the flash, I go, ah! That's not good.
Okay.
That's a negative.
All right. So that ends your turn, Percy.
Yeah.
All right. Next, this entity, Center Mark, is going to rush forward.
No.
Straight out of the grapple from Jarrett. Just shifts right out of his hands. Is going to run forward and take a double attack against the prisoner. That's a 19 plus 6 with 5 hits. And that is a 15 hits as well. Takes 30 points of damage. It's currently unconscious.
Oh, shit.
Punches him twice, and you see the poor driver is knocked up into the ceiling, falls down onto the bed, and is like half laying off. You can see blood trickling down the front of his face. His eyes are kind of open and slowly close.
Need him alive.
The horn.
That brings us to Trinket's turn.
Come on, Trinket.
Trinket rushes forwards. And goes.
So we're not going to roll Trinket into your turn since you're
all right. Then he stays there.
Okay. Trinket stays there until it's your turn. Jarrett is going to rush forward and come to this corner. The crossbow is not much aid at this point. Reaches over and pulls out a short sword and lunges forward with the short sword. Yeah, that's with disadvantage. So it's a 9. Oh, God. Rolls a 20 and a 3. Great. Sorry, Jarrett. Yeah, just swinging through, trying to pierce through the bars at this entity, and just can't seem to get any sort of attack to hit and land on the creature.
So he's actually locked in the thing still?
Jarrett got the door open and came through to try and grab the creature, and as he tried to pull him back, the creature just sifted right through his hands again to go ahead and attack the prisoner. That ends Jarrett's turn. Vex, it is now your turn.
Okay. Can I move forward so I can see?
Yep, you can see about there, give you a visual on the entity.
All right. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll shoot him.
Okay.
He's hunter's marked already. Okay, good.
He is, yes. So both attacks at disadvantage.
A 15.
15 hits.
Okay.
Just hits.
Dun, 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 dun. 16.
16 also hit. Oh, 16
Oh,
damage.
that's the damage.
All right. With the additional hunter's mark?
Yes.
Okay.
And then 14 doesn't hit.
14 does not hit. Arrow just disappears in the back of the cell, kind of scattering and shattering against part of the stone wall.
And Trinket, can he get up to him?
Trinket can get up to rush up.
Oh, but I took all the attacks.
Correct. So Trinket rushes up, but doesn't actually.
Trinket stays in the corner then.
Okay.
He can't do
Trinket
shit.
Okay. Trinket just cheers you on.
He just shakes off.
Cool. That ends your turn. Keylith.
Okay, I am going to, seeing the direction that everyone's pointing, going to kind of walk up and reach around Vex, and I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire. Right. Oh God, wrong direction.
Wrong direction.
Fucking eye.
On yourself.
Oh God. Good fail. It's a 20-foot cube, so I want to cast it right in this cell.
Okay.
Doing the reach.
Okay. Cool. So as you cast that, you can see now.
That's just curious.
Okay, it's going to attempt to make a save. What's the DC on that?
Against my spell's DC?
Yes.
18.
It fails with a 14. Alright, so you guys watch as she reaches her hand out. The entire cell, all of a sudden, there's a burst of purplish light, and these little kind of dust stars of purple glowing begin to drift down from the ceiling. As they do, they cling to whatever this form is, and you can now see very clearly this invisible entity that is surrounded in these purple sparkles. It looks humanoid from the torso up, but its legs are kind of shimmering and shifting around. You now have a very clear look on it. You've nullified its invisibility.
You have advantage now.
Is it advantage as well?
Yeah, you have advantage.
So you guys all now have advantage on this entity.
And I'm gonna take my bonus action to do healing word on the. It's not Jarrett that's unconscious.
No,
right?
this is the
cab
driver.
driver.
The boy.
On the cab driver.
Okay. So go ahead and roll for the healing you
Bucky.
get.
Desmond.
What's his name?
Oh, that's right.
Desmond.
Desmond?
Sorry, brother.
Jarrett and Desmond.
Hubert.
How much does he heal?
6 plus my spell modifier, so 10. I think is that right? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Is my plus my spell level? Is that what it is with healing word?
What are you doing?
It's plus I think it's plus 5, whatever.
Healing word?
Healing word.
D4 plus my spell casting ability modifier.
Yes, it was plus 6.
6, so 12.
12. Gotcha. Okay. Desmond's eyes kind of clarify for a second. Begins to breathe heavily, still looking very wounded, but conscious and prone across the bed as the entity that's Hunter Mark is still looming over it, bringing its fists up for another round to try and finish its job. That ends your turn, Keylith. Grog, you're up.
There you are. Hold still, Casper! And I run up and I swing.
As you rush up angrily, make your strike.
Nice!
Come on, Grog, kill.
That's 28.
That hits.
Okay. That's 27.
Hits.
This would hit Tiamat.
17.
17 also hits, so roll damage 3 times. As you just rush up, the bars open, bring the axe down on top of this now sparkling purple entity.
10. 14 on the first one, plus the fire damage.
Cool.
17 plus 21. No, is that right? Did I do that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 41 for the second one.
Okay.
And 9, 17. 21 again!
Nice.
Grog.
Alrighty, so you're whack, whack. Hammer down a third time on top of this creature. You can see its body being beaten around by the attack. And you see the whispering of its wind around its lower body starting to slow, and it's looking like it's getting more sluggish, but it's definitely still intent on its job. That ends your turn, Grog.
Wow, really?
Vax, you're up.
All right. In a split second, I'm watching Grog take the thing apart. I size up everybody in front of me in the distance, and I think I can sort of Assassin's Creed my way through the crowd because I can go 60 feet normally, so 30 feet if it's crowded. And I'm going to use Grog's proximity to take this thing apart.
Okay, I will say you would normally get advantage because you're attacking it through the bars with melee. You have it disables it, so it's just a straight attack.
Straight, that's fine.
So I'm going to fight it through prison bars with daggers, which is difficult.
So the first one is terrible. It's a 14.
14 misses, unfortunately.
And that's where the sneak attack damage is, right?
Well, it's the first attack you get on it would get it. So even if you miss the first attack, you can still get it with the second and third.
Third one is a 21.
That does hit. Go ahead and roll
There's
sneak
the
attack.
delivery system, and that is the keen dagger. 11, 16, 20, 26, 27. Oh, 32. Ooh, 38.
All right. With that, the first blade comes through, and you try and get it through the bars, and it gets nothing. You pull back, take the other dagger, and swing through it. It falls too wide, and you have to bring your arm back. This time, you can see after Grog is slammed with the hammer, it kind of falls, and you can see its form. The sparkles kind of come towards the edge, like it's slamming its back into the bars, and it's right there in front of you. And use that instance to go ahead and reach through the bars, grab it by the throat, and just stab it repeatedly. Yes! At which point, its form disperses into wind around you.
Andy Dufresne.
Unconsciously.
And I slap Grog on the back and say, "You soften the shit of him." That's terrible English. You soften him up for me, asshole.
Been drinking.
Still softening. I was just saying, still softening as well.
You softened the shit of him.
For me.
You shitted him up for me, Grog. Good job.
You guys look over in the, you see Desmond is still in the bed, kind of like eyes wide.
I rush over to Desmond, and out of my pouch, I bring out a sandwich that I had made earlier. And I hand it to him. I go, Desmond, Decker, here, have it. It's a Decker sandwich. You should have it.
Kind of gets up on the bed and takes it. What happened?
I run up and I cast
was that?
2 wounds on him.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll for the cure wounds. You on that?
Oh, you're casting that all over the place now, aren't you, fancy pants?
From the tinkering room, I yell out,
Is
it safe?
Is it safe?
Can I come out now?
Yep.
It is safe.
There's like 4 more of them. Stay back, stay
Okay,
back.
I'll stay.
I remember I have the holy oil in my hand mixed with the blood, and I start blessing him with bloody fist.
17.
Who, the prisoner?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Do I
I'll
add
press
my wisdom
hesitate
to
it
that, or
off
is it
as
just
he-
3?
Grog
Yeah,
says
do
it
your wisdom.
without Grog
Okay.
saying,
Then it's...
pardon me, he doesn't know
20.
customs very well.
No. All right, cool. All right, so
How was that sandwich?
Desmond isn't eating it. Desmond's just holding it and still kind of like taking in. What happened? What was that? What was that thing?
Nasty bits.
Yeah, what was that thing?
What was that thing?
I would say opaque buttholes.
Can we do a
Make an
check?
Arcana check.
An Arcana check.
I'll make an Arcana check too.
Take the first one.
Good too.
Oh, I don't know anything about
I rolled one by
Arcana.
accident.
No.
I'll take the.
I would have rolled all
As a
kinds of-
note, if you roll by accident,
What?
you have to roll intentionally to take the score.
22.
Because if you were to accidentally make
It was
really
the
bad,
same
you'd be like, that doesn't count.
God
I
damn
didn't
it.
actually roll. But just,
A hard 12.
I rolled
Total
a 22
Yeah.
Arcana check.
Solid.
Arcana.
22.
Yeah.
Oh, he's faced these things before. That's what it is.
That's the thing. You've seen these entities are used by certain high-level arcane practitioners. They can be summoned as certain spells. They're air elemental based in nature, but they're generally known as invisible stalkers.
Invisible stalkers.
They have
the
they're
worst.
used
So
as
true.
assassins that have a very sole single-minded purpose.
All I know is they feel like the Briarwoods.
Get that based on recent events, there's probably a good probability that was the source of this.
Do you know from your previous experience if there's any way to protect against them? Other than setting up walls?
All I
What
know
are they
is how to
invisible
stick my face
stalkers.
into beehives, apparently.
Yeah.
That's right.
Do we know? Does anybody know how to protect against air stalkers?
Give me a day, I
invisible
will
stalkers?
find out. I will find out.
Jared, at which point, is kind
Or
of
rest.
his hand against the wall and goes, I would recommend that next time you decide to put me on watch, you let me know if we're up against things that are invisible. I apologize, I was not prepared for such a foe to show up.
We're unprepared to warn you. I'm sorry.
That's all right. If I might ask, what exactly are we up against here?
Fuck if we know.
It seems like we're up against either vampires or liches.
Once again, I could.
Prepare the troops. There will be some changes made to the keep over the next couple of days. We shall shore up security. As
I would like also to consider possibly some changes made to our income, as this has suddenly turned from just a general guarding job to going up against the denizens of the afterlife. It's already been a very dangerous proposition.
Of course. We shall discuss that in late. Is it the morning?
Very well. I'm going to go ahead and make sure the rest of my team is
Please.
alive.
Jared, are you up for it?
I mean, if the pay is good, yes.
Will be.
Jared's up for anything.
You understand. Okay. I'll talk to you in the morning. I think a bit of rest is necessary. And he makes his way up the stairs to the rest of the keep. Desmond, at this point, is kind of still in shock and just starts absentmindedly eating the sandwich that you handed him.
It's good, right? I had one yesterday.
Maybe it's best not to leave him down here.
No, you shall stay in the guest room. Come.
Don't we have already someone in the
Is it
guest?
safer there?
Yes, it is.
I told you they'd come for me.
Yes, you did.
I told you they would.
Don't worry.
But you know what? You're still alive.
You've had the worst couple days.
I put. Okay.
Wipes the blood from the side of his face and kind of looks
With
at it
his
in his hand and
half a
goes,
hand.
Let's take you upstairs and get you all fitted. Who do we talk to?
What?
Who do we talk to that works for us that does the actual construction to the keep?
That
Is that
is
somebody else?
one of Uriel's
Yeah, none of the people.
staff, in
None of
which
the people
case
that are talking
we
to us.
cannot talk to them right now.
Because they don't like us.
Exactly.
Yeah, the individual that was responsible for the construction of the keep was Lord Riskel Daxio, which is an elven gentleman on the council that helped oversee the whole construction and help you guys design it. So,
Is he still on the bed?
still in the bed, just
I
sitting.
sit down next to him and say, listen, you were a victim of circumstance. We understand that. We are, to a certain degree as well. We're not leaving your side. And really, there's no other choice. I mean, you're kind of fucked like we are. So, we will do our best to protect you. I promise you. I promise you.
Okay.
Are you a servant that does stuff for us?
I volunteer to sleep down in the room.
Oh, wow.
You shall stay in my quarters.
Oh.
It's better down here, isn't it?
No.
In a locked cell with Grog, I think is pretty safe.
I think it's probably better to bring him upstairs because
Where the rest of the
if
team
it's
is,
locked,
yeah,
we can't get to him
slumbering
very
as
quickly.
Don't worry, we can enchant his room as well to have an alert thing go on if anything happens overnight, and it would be safer. I shall be sleeping in my laboratory for the next several nights as well.
I mean,
have
I
to
can
prepare.
still go ahead and do the planar bindings to an elemental
Right.
that maybe I should have done beforehand.
Nobody gotten by them, they're invisible.
No, it lasts 30 days.
Oh, okay.
I like all of these things, but I think Grog as a bunkmate is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes,
At this point, Desmond leans into you and kind of quietly says in your ear, Vax goes, Is where I'm sleeping going to be away from him? Looks over towards Percy.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
it will.
totally
You don't
away
hear
from
this.
that.
You don't hear that. You don't hear that.
It's fine. You'll have him in between you and him.
You don't
hear that. It's whispered at the back.
All
Which
mine.
whisper? Oh, I'm sorry.
Who's our servant? Oh, this thing's worse.
There is a lot of history for Percy wrapped up in this, and he has done you wrong, no question. The answer is yes. You will be separate from Percival. You will be protected. And you have my word.
Make a persuasion roll.
And you have my axe.
As he's doing this, I'm
I'm
like,
going to
I
use
win!
luck. I'm using my luck.
Call for a win.
Natural 20 with luck.
You.
Kind of takes another bite of the sandwich and kind of packs it away. A little piece of cloth he had in his pocket and puts it in there. And you know, you can still see as he brings his hand up, you can see the blood streak against where the fingers were on the lower half of that hand. And just kind of strokes the edge of his chin and goes, "Okay, I trust you. Please don't let them get me."
We may be fuck-ups,
Speak for yourself.
but we're not without ability. You have my word. I promise you.
Okay. Very tired.
Desmond, dear, let's go upstairs. Grog,
Yeah.
that bed needs to go back up to the guest room.
Fucking hell. I started to take the fucking bed up the stairs.
Takes you roughly another 20 minutes or so to
Son of
bring
a
it up.
bitch.
Fitting it through the
legs.
door.
Is that the old man?
Calling for girls.
As you call up, Erwin eventually comes down.
Hey, yes, Tiberius, you called?
Yes.
It's quite early in the morning. He has his nightcap on and he's kind of rubbing his eyes.
Yeah, what time is it?
Right now it's about probably 6:30 in the morning or
need to
so. It's
sleep.
just after sunrise. You guys haven't
all
slept yet.
Oh, shit. Never mind. I'll talk to you once we've slept.
Oh, you're an asshole
Go
now.
back to sleep. I didn't realize what time it was. I thought it was like 10 a.m.,
You
which is
woke
totally
4
different
men up for
than 6
nothing.
a.m. I didn't know that.
It's
I'm
all,
sorry,
it's
I
all
thought
right.
you said
All
it was
right. In the morning, then, Master Tiberius.
And he goes off to his,
This is mean.
back to his bed to sleep.
We go to sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to sleep.
Yeah, we sleep.
I gently fall asleep under Percy's workbench.
I really wouldn't do that.
Where I've been hiding this whole time.
Okay, make a stealth check.
You're not going to sleep down there.
Natural 20.
We're
Okay.
rich in 20s tonight.
All right, so the rest of you go to sleep. You all going
I'm
to
going to go into my
your workshop?
workshop.
On the way up, I fall in next to Keylith and ask, is your hand alright?
It's fine.
Do you need anything?
Nope.
Alright.
Since he's sleeping in the room with me, I take a few of the caltrops that I have and I put them on the inside of the doorway before I close it.
Okay. So you guys are going to set it up there. Percy, you're going to workshop. Go ahead and roll a perception check, Percy.
17.
17. Okay. You go about your work as is necessary.
I'm fixing my gun.
Okay.
it
The
loud?
materials that it
Yes.
requires you to do so are expensive. You actually have to pay the cost of the gun and go ahead and make another check.
Fuck is that sound?
Percy was trying to sleep!
So go ahead and make another tinkering check. And the cost of the pepper box should be at the bottom of your...
Okay, is it the whole cost or half or
it should be half the cost. It should say under the repair rules for misfire.
half cost? Oh my god, that's awful. Okay, tinkering check. 12.
12. Okay.
Just higher. Technically, that would be a success.
Yeah. So you take the rest of the morning, kind of unsleeve the dark bags under your eyes. You manage to get the pepper box back.
Well, I
in
was
working.
asleep. I wasn't with them, so I just woke up really early.
Right. But even so, like you're not even though you slept, it
Woke
hasn't
up
been
earlier.
very restful. Like it's been technically enough to rest, but you know your evening has been fraught with nightmares
Fucking
perpetually.
Sauron was talking to you.
But your pepper box is repaired and does cost you half the cost of the pepper box. to
75
repair.
gold,
Okay.
which I have.
I sleep in my little nook in my laboratory.
Okay. So, you guys rest through the rest of the morning, waking up past noon, probably about 2 in the afternoon. You all gradually begin to come to consciousness, making your way downstairs. As you come downstairs, you can already smell breakfast has been prepared. You can see Lena already has the meals set out for you, and as you guys begin to approach, she's like, "Oh, it's so nice of all of you to come down. It was very interesting. These very nice folks came by this morning and dropped off a whole bunch of food and fresh veggies and stuff. Like for a great meal. It was very nice.
Wonderful.
Food served, and she kind of gives out of the plates and she gives you kind of a smile through her.
I love you.
Dimples.
Is this a frittata?
I believe that's what it's called in some circles. I'm trying a few new things.
Come on, give me a check.
Go for it.
I'm gonna take some food and feed it to Lockheed, and I'm gonna roll for my
66.
animal handling for today.
That's
Don't you do a beard check now?
66.
He's doing it.
No effect, unfortunately.
Just a little tingle.
There is a slight tingle, but it's mostly just a placebo. Sorry. As you guys are having your meals and you're feeding food and teaching this, everyone roll a perception check.
Perception check.
At home?
16.
I rolled a 1.
17.
This frittata is lovely.
6.
8.
16, but my passive is 21.
Right, understood. Good to know. And Percy's not there. Percy's down in the workshop.
I'm down.
I rolled.
As you guys are in the middle of your meal, you hear clearing the stillness and quiet of the low munching up. And sitting at the table adjacent to you guys, completely unnoticed in his entry, is Sikar Asum, arms crossed, sitting at the chair.
Motherfucker, you are sneaky. I need to talk to you.
We are not cool right now.
Well, obviously not. That's why I'm here to have a conversation with the rest of you. Please continue to eat. I don't mean to disturb you.
Oh, very well.
Things have
Help
gotten-
yourself to a frittata.
I've already eaten, but I appreciate the offer.
Try this Hakuna frittata. It's really good. Nope.
Hakuna Matata?
Let him talk, let him talk, let
Sorry.
him talk.
What a wonderful meal.
Disney Lord comes in.
Well, things have certainly gotten stickier, haven't they? Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank you, Keylith, for clearing my head. Poor Briarwood had locked me into some form of mental charm during my attempt to aid Vax. And,
Believed you.
Sorry, I'm a little defensive right now. Continue.
That's alright, things are a bit mixed up. It's hard to explain. Let's just say I've been clouded in my judgment for the past few days until you cleansed me. I'm sorry to uphold the charade back in the palace.
Apologies are mine, I think. I believe you had some sort of plan and I thought I knew better, and for that I'm sorry.
I cannot say that is untrue, but I accept your apology.
Can I roll for insight to make sure he's...
You may.
I know. That was a shit roll.
Fine.
He's a hard person to gauge anyway.
He really is.
You've gathered over time that most of his work deals in a network of spies and gathering information across all of Taldore, and so he is very well trained to hide the essence of his true nature and intent. Hard to read, but he seems pleasant as he's been, and given the circumstances. This is what Nevertheless, I accept your apology, and I apologize for having upholding the charade during the council meeting. But I had to keep up appearances so as not to cause any sort of stir at the time. I fear, based on my observations since, that our very own sovereign also fell to the same charm I did, and has been clouded since the dinner the night before.
Sovereign?
Shit. That makes sense.
We were kind of afraid of that.
He's fallen for that stuff before.
He's been through quite a bit, and while he's a very resolute and a very good man, I would say that he is predisposed to outer influence from those that are quite strong-willed.
And this is why you kept up our accusations against us in front of him.
Under those conditions, the room filled with guards that were all intent against keeping you at bay, should you have made any attempt to try and cleanse him as well, during that time, I think you all would have wound up in prison. Or worse.
So why didn't you want to show that you were also cleansed? What was the point of holding up the charade?
Because when you're under this influence, to speak against the proposed ally of the charm is to draw a line. I wish to stay in his good graces because that would enable us a much better chance of getting you close enough to him to absolve him of this charm.
Even your
If I were to reveal this instantaneously in the presence of the entire council, I fear that might have put me in the same court of disfavor as you and lost any future chance of expelling this influence.
Do you think it's only Uriel, or do you think it's the rest of the council as well?
Best I can gather, most of the council is not as well... how do I put it? Not used to business with Vox Machina. Allura seems to be of clear mind, as she is very powerfully protected against such influences, and did not have any immediate interaction with the Briarwoods during that dinner. I fear the intent was on the Sovereign himself. So,
Wait, are you saying that the Briarwoods corrupted him?
Same way they corrupted me.
During the dinner while we were all sitting there?
Yes.
Apparently it takes not but a glance.
Oh shit!
I
They could have
learned.
gotten any of us.
Yes, they did. Me. It was rather inconvenient. I hate them. Sorry.
I think we have something in common.
Aren't you deaf?
No, it was brief. It was brief.
I mean, what?
Is that why you're talking so loud?
Yes. I was getting it back.
There are a few options at our disposal. You could continue to work to clear your name during his distraction southward. If you have some idea as to how we could get close enough to him to absolve him of this now, that runs the risk of, should anything go poorly, being poked with many, many spear holes.
Is it possible to sneak into his room and restore him without anybody knowing?
If you're confident, that may be more of a mission for the quieter of your bunch, should
What
they
about drawing
be a
him
little
out?
more intelligent with their actions going forward.
What about drawing him out, like to a luncheon or whatnot? A brunch?
I will say, based on recent circumstances, he is very, very careful and defensive.
Have a
I
very
have-
careful
I think it's
brunch.
gonna be out and about.
I have fair chances of getting in, but no ability to cure him.
Well,
of
what if
any such
Keylith,
thing.
who can do it,
I'd go with you.
polymorphed into like a fly or a very small creature,
Oh, yes.
traveled on you, you snuck in, she popped out, did the thing, money.
Don't really...
Unless they're caught,
This
in which
lady.
case you've got two of our members against the entire palace guard.
Right.
Well, then you go with them and dimension door out.
I didn't even want to face the little invisible thing downstairs.
Hold on. Why don't we hold like a special dinner to invite
doesn't
him?
He hates our
gonna
fucking
come
guts.
Why don't we let Speaker Assume finish?
Speaker
Sounds like
Assume, in
there's
your
more to say.
opinion,
Sorry,
is it
dear.
safer to try and
still
kill
hungry,
him
I think.
or to try and clear our name through the traditional legal means?
More frittatas.
Honestly, I have no idea. I think this plan, if successful, is quite inspired. However, failure would probably end in the immediate incarceration and or death of both individuals
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Does
Public execution does not befit the countrywide name of Vox Machina. If you were to fail, if you were to succeed, that would be the most direct route between 2 points.
So, are we in agreement that we have to clear Uriel's mind first?
No. The other option is to clear our names and not worry about clearing his mind.
Uriel, if he's got his mind controlled, it doesn't matter if we try to clear our names, he's gonna find us guilty.
But during our trial, we will have a direct line of sight to him. We might be able to get through
Restore
to him.
him.
does
I
he
need to
still
touch
trust
him.
Allura?
As far as I know, yes.
You know, if
Wait,
we killed
no.
the Briarwoods,
He
is this
doesn't.
even a point?
But we have to leave.
Right, that's true. He doesn't
Yeah,
trust
we're gonna do
Allura.
it.
She wasn't even allowed in the room to talk to us. There's definitely suspicion there, right?
He did question her allegiances.
If that's the case, then perhaps her current power is not as strong in the council when regarding you. But she is still a member of the council, should she not be immediately affiliated with you for her purposes. And this is up to you. Whatever you choose to do, if it requires my aid, I would give it a day before I have to leave. My next intent is to head... Well, I wish to go past the eastern curtain set up by Whitestone into Wildmount. I have spent the better part of the past days since the cleansing seeking all records of the Briarwoods and their doings. There is a period of about 8 years in which there is no public record of their goings-on, and it appears that most records that deal with their involvement in Wildmount and whatever homestead gave them their title Lord and Lady Briarwood has all been but erased. So I intend to go to the source. Wildmount itself and research. This will take me some time, of course.
When do you plan on leaving?
Sooner the better. I was thinking tomorrow.
Is Percy here? Is Percy in the room?
Percy is not in here. Percy is down in the workshop.
But we
I
can't
go
with you.
get
We
Percy.
could go with you.
Okay.
I was going to be at
Some
the door.
disagreement.
Oh, I come around the corner and I see
As you come around
Percy.
the corner, Percy is currently leaning up against the side of the wall, listening to the whole conversation.
Hey! I was looking for you. You want to come and, like, actually join the conversation for once instead of, you know, standing outside the door and just listening to them? Because I really feel like this is going to be your time to input and maybe really help.
I don't feel like doing that. Lead on.
Okay.
Seeker assumed we have managed to capture and keep one of the coachmen down in our cell. Would he be safer in our hands or within the castle walls?
Percy and I walk in.
I'm fucking asking.
Well, that depends. If you have strong defenses and the enemy has no means of entering, then you'd be safer here. The palace itself is a very well-protected area. However, there currently is, an open invitation into the palace, and if the essence of our enemy is as I think it is, then they can enter whenever they like.
Never mind.
I think we're really choosing between two paths here. Either we stay in town and tinker and gamble,
Or we go with the
or we're
Seeker.
runaways.
Well, runaways. No,
We
we would be going
leave.
to the Briarwoods.
No,
and
no,
Seeker.
That's what I'm talking about. The minute we leave, we're outlaws. They've told us not
Yeah,
to
we're
go
not-
anywhere.
we're
We
not supposed to go anywhere.
We can leave, we just cannot flee. We can travel as we see fit. We just let them need to let them know where we're going.
Yeah, but we can't tell them
We're going to kill the
going
Briarwoods.
to check out your
We're going to get
your
proof,
associates.
which is what they want.
Yeah, we lie.
Also, isn't
doubt they
wait,
would buy
what's the name of the town? That from?
Whitestone?
Not Whitestone.
But I agree, we should not leave.
Wait. Oh, I thought he was saying he was going to go to their
No one
hometown.
will
He's
sanction
going to
us
Wildmount, the
going
kingdom
to the
that
Briarwoods.
They're from
Other
right.
continent, far
He's going to go to Wildmount, which
Of
is
course,
another
because they're under the
continent.
influence. Wait,
Hold
Hang
on,
on.
what? Hold on.
She's going to Wildmount. He's not going to Whitestone. He's going to Wildmount,
Yeah.
which is
Yes.
on another continent.
Yeah.
If we go to another continent, it doesn't matter if we're fleeing or not. It's going to look like fleeing.
Yeah.
Why are you going to Wildmount
Let
again?
them notify them that we're leaving the continent.
I'm trying to
won't
find
let
as
us.
much information to incriminate them in case whatever you're tempting does not work.
Don't need to go.
Seeker, would you mind staying for a week or so before your venture? We need time to convince the council to A, let us leave without conflict, and to procure particular items and things that we need. Very briefly, it would just take some time.
I've already made arrangements for travel. I could try, but depends on what you need me here for.
What do we need him here for?
Ultimately, protection or a good ear.
And what do you genuinely think that they're going to let us go with permission? We're not on their good side.
No, they're not. They're not going to let us
No,
go.
we're going to be outlaws. We have to
already
clear
told us.
ourselves by ending the charm on Uriel by finishing off Silas.
Or by killing the Briarwoods, thus ending the charm.
Silas
Yeah.
Briarwood.
Silas.
So that would be a way to clear your name and clear his head.
Let's do that.
Percy.
Your choice.
Percival.
What of 8 days?
Well,
Okay, instead of 2 weeks. I'm sorry.
No, Percival. What do you think we should do? Go seek revenge on your family and get some blood on our hands, Briarwood blood, or do the sneaky thing and try to...
Please, we need your input.
You know them better than anyone.
And quite
I
frankly,
really don't. I think we're here because I wasn't prepared.
Can I do
think-
an insight check on him? See if he knows more than what he's saying.
Sure.
Put it up.
19.
You can go ahead and roll a d20.
Is that a 9?
9.
Is there anything you're holding back?
Nope.
He seems clear as day, telling the honest truth.
I don't think we're
wasn't
here
unique.
in this city to become lords and ladies serving Uriel, as good a man he is.
I think
I think Percival is our ally, and this is a grievous wrong done to him, and we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Right. I think we are in the situation we're in because We now know how much we don't know, how much I don't know. I'm not prepared. If we face them now, I'm going to get you all killed.
I agree. We need proper preparation. Percy, I'm pretty sure you have a good background on vampires and what have you. As do I, as I've researched them in the last couple of days. There's other things that we should research as well, and probably arm ourselves for that kind of conflict if it comes to it. Quite frankly, I have a dealing, if it's a whole town we're dealing with, we need to find out how many innocents there are to save. And if the number is low enough, we can just fly in there with an army ourselves, which will take some time. The Draconian Knights. I am an ambassador to Draconia, officially, after all the 6-month stint and giving them the Wheel of Mending and proving my point.
You gave them the wheel?
No, I showed it to them, proving that my quest was true, which they gave me full ambassadorship, which means that if harm comes to a Stormwind, harm comes to all of Draconia. And a town full of vampires and leeches.
I didn't know we had a whole army at our disposal. That's wonderful to hear.
If worse comes to worse.
Started on the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
Diplomatic community.
But even then, our relations must be strong with Iman, which is, we need their allyship as well.
I agree.
Draconia will not go into things alone.
While
We need a union.
I agree. While we're not serving Uriel, that's not our purpose, I also don't want to leave an enemy of the state.
Right.
That's not good for me, for what I want.
So...
I got into Jared. 8 days. What do you think of 8 days? That's your first name I got.
And what, go with Jared?
Well, he's not going.
Or not Jared, Hassoon?
He's not even going
Hassoon.
where we would be going. We would be going to Whitestone, right? That's where the Briarwoods
Yes.
But Keylith, Uriel is the law, and the law is now corrupt.
Then why don't we save his mind before we go?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
That idea.
He's going to find out stuff about the Briarwoods.
Right.
What's the fucking point of him going if we're just gonna go attack the Briarwoods before we know what he knows? We need to let him go, find out his shit, take care of Uriel, wait till he gets back, go take out the Briarwoods.
As Vex is saying this, Tiberius is getting a half chub.
A what?
Hey.
Well, that's just weird.
You can't see it because it's inside.
Yes, because you said it out loud. So.
Anyway.
I'm just saying, strategy.
Fair enough.
Strategy.
Oh,
It's
a strategy chub. All right.
Strategy chub.
Strategy chub, okay.
I'm still
Okay.
weirded out.
Come on.
Okay.
You gotta
Is it on choice of words?
Sorry.
Things, man.
She was
Specificity.
laying out a
But
good
now, 30
plan.
seconds
That was
later,
like,
I see
you're
what
off.
you mean.
Sorry.
Easy.
Her brain
Yeah.
is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Assume kind of says,
Shouldn't put
Oh,
that there.
that's weird too. Damn it. Okay.
Assume says, my getting to Wildmount is not easy, nor is it safe. I cannot linger for long. Maybe a few days at
How
most.
soon will you return?
That depends on if I even return.
Nice. Can you give him some parchment?
Every spy I've sent to seek information on the Briarwoods or to Whitestone has not come back.
I'll give him 2 strips of scroll transcription.
Okay.
If any harm falls upon you, roll right on this. Blah blah blah. Explain what it does.
Okay. How many of those do you have left, by the way?
I have like 30 tickets left, so
Okay.
28 now.
Keep track of that.
I have another idea. Uriel said that he was resistant, but he said that he would bring me in to have his people check me out.
Yes.
Check out my story.
That could be an entree.
What if
Yeah.
Keylith and Scanlan rode in my pockets as
I'm not that
mice?
small.
There's
As roaches.
You're pretty
Mice.
small.
Alright,
Just
alright.
as mice. Or
Or bug roly-polies. Little...
magic
teeny
user's
tiny
choice. Can you cast magic when you're transformed?
no.
So they'd have to pop out.
What's his name? That's Matt.
No.
Could,
that's,
okay, wait.
No, that's Matt.
Seeker awesome.
Can you shrink yourself and still do magic teeny tiny?
Are you asking me?
Scanlan,
Either of you.
give
No.
the seeker. Scanlan,
I can shit on things. Yes.
could you give the seeker inspiration before he goes on his venture as well?
They could last him 20 minutes, yes.
Damn it.
Get him to the docks, maybe?
Super fast. I don't know. Never mind.
No. I
That's
Seeker, what do you think? What was your goal of coming here?
Yeah, do you want us to come with you or what?
My journey requires the utmost of silence, speed, stealth. And I mean no offense to your entourage, but I think I could do this alone, and should. However, this journey may take me 2 weeks, a month, many months, I do not know. I'm doing this just in case whatever you're choosing to do fails, at least. If Vox Machina falls in this, I can come back with proof enough to try and, once the army has been gathered, perhaps we can rally all of Imon against Whitestone.
If you die, can you, write a letter and sign your name saying that we were right, you were wrong, you were full of shit, the Briarwoods are assholes?
But a lot more eloquently than that.
Or not.
I can try my best.
That would be lovely.
What I can do, I go ahead and druid craft. I go up to his arm and I druid craft like a wooden kind of armband around him to make it look kind of cool. And put that on him.
Onto Tiberius?
No, onto Hassoon.
Oh.
Now I can scry through that. That way I can at least check in on you every once in a while. If you're okay with that?
I could have shat on him and had the same effect.
Could have. I figure a cool arm bracelet might be a
Make a
little
persuasion roll.
style.
Here's a persuasion roll.
What about being invisible?
Not bad
Can
at
you
all.
cast spells while you're invisible?
They're immediately.
Only if greater. If you have greater invisibility, you can.
21.
Just regular invisibility, you can.
21.
We've always sought out the path of the most glory. And I think that is the Briarwoods. Going into a giant vampire lich-ridden castle and killing 2 evil bastards amid their army of protectors is the coolest thing we could ever do.
Super duper cool. Here's the thing. It's not going to be just 2, I don't think. It's going to be an entire town of people that they've controlled.
You think we can get into Sovereign Uriel without anyone detecting magic on us? He's got clerics all around him, paladins.
But Hassoon knows all the ins and outs of the palace.
Well, leaving town tomorrow.
We'd have to do it stat, but he knows how to get in.
He did say it was an inspired idea.
He did?
His words.
He did.
Regardless, you have to make a choice soon. I cannot dilly-dally.
Either way,
Well,
I
okay,
feel
wait, wait,
Like your
exhausted.
band, yes. He takes the wooden band and puts it around his arm and says, if this will put you at ease, I'll take it.
Don't worry, I won't abuse it, I promise. Could you potentially help us with sneaking in the castle if
I could get you in the door, but I could not escort you to that room. That would put myself in extreme danger in the entirety of our mission.
Could you distract people?
I can do that quite well, yes.
Here's my
We
reservation.
can get there, but something tells me we're still going to be fighting a big fight in a palace. I'd rather fight that big fight in the Briarwood Palace.
Scanlan and I are in agreement, and here's the problem. If things go south in Uriel's palace, we are then forced to fight against people who are good and true. If we are...
Or give up.
Or give up and go to jail, which sucks.
But
and
in
if we go
Briarwoods,
to
we
the
can kill
Briarwoods...
every motherfucker in that place.
Yes.
There are a number of innocents that we need to figure out still.
what if we talk to Alora?
No, the air part is what
You killed an old lady!
She attacked us, and I will not back down from that decision.
She did have an old lady smell.
Alright. Can we just vote on something, please, since Percy's being oh so quiet about all this?
Percy is being very quiet about this.
Are you sure you have nothing to say?
It's fucking your family. It's the people that attacked your family. You
your
have no
town.
contribution to
Maybe
this.
we should leave it up to...
I
The
still feel I owe
strain.
everybody an apology, and I've...
No, we shan't do that.
I still feel terrible about dragging you all into this and putting you in danger.
We're choosing to do it.
We're in this now.
Percy, let me ask you.
A voice whispers in your ear, Percy. No one hears this.
If you're with me, if you're with me, we can be prepared for them this time. Yeah. We know enough to prepare ourselves. We can have ourselves ready this time.
How many days do we have? Do we need? I would like 8 days.
Can I see if he looks like shaken or
joke.
fucked up at all?
I mean, he looks shaken and fucked up. Yeah, he's obviously had a horrible
The answer
few
is
days.
yes.
I think a week to prepare is reasonable.
And then leave.
And then we leave. We leave quietly.
Wait, we're leaving to Whitestone?
What time of day is this?
Yes.
It's probably like 3 in the afternoon.
I've been avoiding it for too long, and now I know too much.
The law of this land is compromised. Percival, I agree with you. I think this is the right choice.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay.
Moo.
Nice.
Then it is settled. I'll be on my way.
Wait. Before you go, could I talk to you?
Oh,
Certainly.
Were you gonna say anything else to the? Because I'll talk to you in private.
3 days, and I'll be off on my side of the mission.
cool.
Very well.
I'll follow you out.
Yes. And he walks with you.
I go to my laboratory.
Okay, as you guys
I'm
scatter.
gonna hold you before you. I just wanted to say, I'm so sorry, and thank you, and thank you for doing this for me. I fear my temper before this weight is lifted from my heart. I do not wish to lose myself like that again, and I'm so sorry for everything I've done.
I put my hand, Tiberius puts his hand on Percy's shoulder and go, I'm sorry for the tragedy which is your family and what these Briarwoods have befallen to them. And I will promise you, I will do my best to have you give that final blow in that barrel to the names assigned to them. But now, this is a far dangerous situation, as you very well know.
I will do my best to maintain myself. Apologize.
And as you all scatter, Percy, as you walk out, the same voice creeps into your ear. Now, as you step out with Seeker Asun, who now has like a bit of haste to his step,
Yes.
arms kind of crossed and looking around.
Son of a bitch.
So, you wish to speak with me?
Yes, I do. You're a ranger.
I am.
You're very, very sneaky.
I can be.
I've only ever seen people like thieves, like my brother, do things like you've done. Can you teach me anything that you know to help me maybe be a little more stealthy as well?
We'll go over what you know, and perhaps there are a few tricks I could teach you in the 3 days I have. I can't guarantee that they'll be extremely changing, as that's a very short time to train over what I've learned over a lifetime, but I can certainly attempt.
I appreciate it.
I require your concentration for those days, though, before I leave.
Utmost.
All right. Meet me tomorrow, crack of dawn. I'll be at the front of your keep.
Lovely.
Right about. And he heads off outside of the keep. The rest of you, what are you doing?
I go to my laboratory.
Okay.
What time is it?
It's about 3, 4 in the afternoon now.
The Temple of Serenray is in the city.
It's part of the keep, yeah.
It's part
Before
of
anybody
our
go, before I go to the laboratory,
you mean the actual temple you went to? That is inside the city, yes.
I'm gonna use
Which
the
is
earring.
awful.
I'm gonna use that earring real quick.
But you can go into the city, you just can't get to the Cloud Top district.
Use the earring real quick. I'm going to write a quick letter. If anybody goes shopping, let me know.
Furious loves shopping.
He really, really does.
All right, we'll go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back here in 5 minutes. We'll keep it a stringent break, guys.
So errands will happen after that break? Because I have some errands that I want to
Yes, we'll try and keep the errands pretty concise so we can
Okay.
keep on the story.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's like use this break to conjecture exactly what you want to do.
Yes.
All right, guys, we'll see you back here in 5 minutes.
Hey! Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Hector.
And I'm Erica, and we are the hosts of Group Hug.
This is the name of the show. Group Hug is the name of the show.
It's the show where we roleplay hero clicks, and we've got a very special guest for you this Friday.
Oh my gosh, this is so great. Mark, come on out, buddy.
Come on, Mark.
Awesome guest. Hey, thanks for being on the show, Mark. Come on up, bud.
Yeah.
It's Mark, right?
Yeah, Mark, or I prefer to be known as my gamer tag, Onyx the Fortuitous, Slayer of the Bright Realm. Yeah, you can call me that.
Cool, Onyx. Okay, great. Onyx.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So we got an awesome show lined up tomorrow, guys. We are playing, in honor of Halloween, Old Hallows Eve. We're doing Hellboy and the BPRD versus Monsters.
All praise Sam Hain.
That's right. You're going to be playing Hellboy.
Oh, man. Yeah, Hellboy's my dude.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can't wait to unleash his fury.
Excuse me.
4 p.m.
4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 p.m. That's right, man. Cool. Hey, really appreciate you being on
Cool.
the show. Yeah.
You mind if I crash on the couch? Don't really have a place to stay tonight.
Oh. Why not?
Yeah, my stepdad Todd said I couldn't live in that apartment anymore. So.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Go ahead and go ahead and crash the couch.
Onyx. Yeah, Onyx, you can crash for sure.
Are you going to tell Zach about this?
What?
Did y'all get me some bugles and some Mountain Dew?
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Overlord.
And Ivan.
And we wanted to tell you about a new show we have coming out this coming week.
This week.
On
Next
Geek and
week.
Sundry.
It's on the Mondays.
Man, we move fast.
It's just like boom, boom, boom.
Bam. So we have a new show to bring you. You guys were raving about how much you love Critical Rejects, so we wanted to bring back parts of that group and our wonderful DM, Ivan.
The guy who is trying to kill people all the time.
Right.
Whether intentionally or unintentionally, we've decided that we're going to intentionally now trying to kill all of our players with a new show called TPK!
Every Monday night from 7 to 10 p.m. here on Geek and Sundry. It's going to be so much fun, and every single month, Ivan's going to bring you a new and awesome RPG, despite how daunting that might be for Ivan.
We're going to be playing Outbreak Undead, which is a zombie survival role-playing game. Maybe you've heard of it because I talk about it occasionally on the
I
stream.
filled out my stats last night.
Did you? How'd you do?
Really well.
Yeah.
This game is designed for people like me.
It's designed for people who are prepared. It's designed for people who take care of themselves. It's designed for people who have good willpower. And it's designed for people who either have really great empathy or really miserable empathy.
Hector, Iffy, Jessica, and it's gonna be a ton of fun, guys.
It's gonna be amazing. And they might die, they might not. There's a good chance that they will die because Outbreak Undead favors the prepared, and we'll see how prepared our players are.
I saw Jess's stat sheet.
Oh my god.
Jess has no chance in this world. This world is not built for people like Jess.
We will enjoy watching her stumble her way through the apocalypse.
And Iffy punching his way out of the apocalypse.
Okay, so we'll see you then.
Tune in Monday.
I really like you, Will.
I really like you too, Britt.
What do you think of Corellia?
I love Corellia.
Will, I think you should leave. Please.
Oh man, when did we start?
I just don't understand why you guys still have to be lovers. It's unnecessarily awkward.
But the love of an elf lasts forever, or something.
It's only gonna get harder the longer you wait. I know, but truth be told, I am having way too much fun.
You do what you want in your own life, Mia. You want to be cruel? Go right ahead.
It's not about cruelty. It's about raising the stakes.
Noctis, he's lost so that the rest of the party could survive. But
This doesn't mean that I'm a better role player than you. Yeah, it just means that I'm better at surviving. I saw an opportunity and I took it. And then you just show up and you have to fuck it up.
A little fighting warms the blood.
Perhaps a demonstration is in order.
You know what you need? You need more cinnamon. Get him the angel cake scones.
You got it, boss.
Are you ready to get your ass kicked?
That's my boy!
No. Ladies and gentlemen, 34 seconds remaining.
Why you gotta
like suck so bad?
You're a really nice person, and I like your attitude and your candor.
Fee join! I have to kill something.
I can't imagine what my farts are gonna smell like.
Hurt that you caused when you walked out the door and walked out of my life.
Yeah!
Yeah, we did it! Welcome to Mines and Crafts. Ow, ow, ow! It just looks like there's sperm all over mine.
We're gonna lay this out. I just take my paper pattern. This is the top of that helmet we did earlier.
Yeah, get up, Tricky. That is no way to treat a lady. What is wrong with you people? What's wrong with you? Oh my god!
Great. Welcome to the pool, guys. This is our weekly show here on Twitch.
Thinks his superhuman powers make him better than Lex Luthor. Well, he's wrong.
What you say, bro?
And I'm worried about the boner he's readying for you. Bonogram is back. And I'm so happy about it.
There are many at comicbookwomen.com.
The
T-shirt. What's on your effing T-shirt? Tripping a landmine.
We're gonna be talking about some new Steam releases while they pay homage to classic games.
You know, with like a new school kind of take on it.
It's like set in the 70s.
It's an action-adventure RPG, so it's camping in space.
Welcome to the concession stand.
Yeah, I tell you, that's what I was thinking when I was in 3rd grade.
The great thing about my movies is I can go back to The Phantom Menace.
You sound like George Lucas meets Kermit the Frog.
You know, it's not easy being green.
Yep.
These streets will make you feel brand new. They'll make you feel brand new.
We are here on another episode of Game the Game. Today we are going to be playing Among the Stars. Flashpoint. Small World.
Open and desert!
Star Realms, Star Wars, or Modded Sentinels of the Multiverse. I have an amazing ragtag crew.
Oh, wow.
Alright, get out of here. Warp 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Critical Role this week.
Roll!
He smells like sandalwood.
Oof, roll damage.
8!
How do you want to do this?
I roll the 1. Because it is what I do.
You said you need black powder, yes?
What? Ooh, you're so scary.
What the fuck just happened?
Thanks so much for joining us on Group Hug. Shut up, Bane. I'll get to you in a second, right?
You have been provided with a false idol.
Don't be afraid and
No.
don't delay.
No.
Not the Watcher, I'm the Phantom Stranger for the last time, so I'm sacrificing myself.
If I be worthy.
Welcome to Gather Your Party. Tonight we are playing Antimatter Matters.
Our lack of food may be the end of us.
Yes!
There's some smoky eye going on here.
Rick Santorum.
I'm nervous. I just do that.
Hitler's brain.
Yes!
Wow. How much time do we have?
Hand me a cigarette, it's time to place better. Stakes are high, but I'm the gambling. Oh, you weren't invited, you weren't invited. You've got the snacks, they've got the die. You roll your stats as they get high.
Get your bacon tempeh sandwich away from me!
Yo, I'm a Jedi! I'm the Green Ranger! Time to fight this invisible danger! I'm gonna draw into my win condition really fast.
Hi guys, welcome to Lady Games.
Oh my god, guys, we're here at E3.
E3 2015.
No more having to cheat. No more mystery meat. No more jam. No more jam. No more jam.
Gonna go to the mall.
Gonna hang by the pool. Gonna talk to Roxanne.
Welcome back. So, to try and expedite this over the next period of time you guys want to take to prepare, what are you going to do? Percy.
I'm going to finish up those things that we talked about earlier, spend some time making some ammunition, and and I'm going to attempt to build what we were talking about.
Okay,
earlier.
go ahead and make a tinkering check for your ammunition.
What we were talking about?
Yeah.
Can I help him with that? Can I assist him?
I would say the tinkering, the mechanisms involved would be so far beyond your understanding as a druid.
Okay.
Like even just metalwork in general is you could
Go, Percy.
cheer him on, but you would not
Go,
be able
Percy,
to assist
go.
him with it.
Go, Percy, go. Go, Percy, go. That's pretty good.
Hold on a second.
24.
24. Okay. You managed to produce 25 rounds.
That's
for your pepper box, and 10 rounds for the bad news.
Ooh, that's good.
Use that inspiration.
No, I use that.
Use that to repair it. Use that to repair his pepper box.
Oh, that makes sense.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Roll for the secondary construction.
Is this the
bombs?
Oh, okay. 11.
11. You take a better part of 2 days attempting to get these to work, and most of your materials are ruined, unfortunately. You managed to come out with it with, and I want you to write this down, smoke bomb, question mark?
Thank you.
It may function. We will see upon use. But you have one at your disposal that is questionable. However, for the cost of the ammunition and the cost of the smoke bomb's construction, already that comes to about, I'd say, 75 gold pieces. Just mark that off. And you're attempting to make, based on what you told me, an Archimedes death ray.
They're not hard. Like, I mean, I say that as like knowing my actual skill level, I could make one.
You could. To be
gonna, like,
functional
amp that up.
with the materials that are at your disposal, it's going to be very large and hard to move.
Bag of holding.
We were talking about making it collapsible.
I could make a collapsible one where it's basically a one-third dodecahedron, like an observatory.
I just need you to make a skeleton.
You spend the remainder of this week of preparation. Go ahead and roll your tinkering check. This is going to cost you in materials.
Hold on. Okay, wait, hold on. Can I just pause real quick? You don't need to do this if you want to make more ammo and other stuff. I can do this without you making this, and spending the rest of the time if you want to make other stuff. Option.
What do you want to do?
Story-wise, it's more amusing.
Okay, go for it. All right, so the actual materials for this.
It's copper.
I know it's copper, but the actual dodecahedron that's involved, the mirrors, the lenses, the whole thing, in order to be the scale and quality to even make it even remotely functional, all have to be extremely high quality, and some of them custom made within the first couple of days within this with a rush order. I'd say the total cost of this can come to about 1,200 gold pieces.
I'll pitch in for that.
Okay.
How much do you have?
At this point, I have less than 100 gold.
What? Less than 100 gold? I'll pay for it in full.
What is the diameter of this?
Of the actual focal lens is about this big. The whole construct can be carried by 2 people.
But it will fold.
But
it will.
I should say, what's the radius of the actual?
Ooh, dear. Turn that off.
Lens.
Of the lens itself. This is the radius of the lens. I mean, even when it's collapsed, it can be carried by one person, but it's still a heavy mechanism.
So it's only 1 foot, 2 feet, 3 feet?
I'd say it's about 2.5 feet in diameter.
Are you sure you want to do that?
He's already agreed. Go ahead and roll.
Why?
Yeah,
It's fine. This is what we were talking about.
Ooh. No.
22.
22?
Actually, 14. Yeah, 22.
22. Through the materials and the construct of it, you get partway through the final stages of it, and as you're tightening one of the sections, all of a sudden there's a sound. Your whole body freezes, you glance over, the lens itself has a giant crack through it.
There shouldn't be a glass piece. There's no glass. Oh, man.
For the construct, for this one,
there was a glass.
There is a focusing lens that is part of what the initial blast, otherwise there wouldn't be a point of actually projecting a ray from.
I think they're all mirrors.
There's all different sorts of construction based on this is the one we're going for here. Or you could say the center of the dodecahedron, but regardless, the tinkering roll was not high enough to construct the device. Sorry.
The whole thing's wasted. Can we try and repair the crack?
No, you have to commission a whole it isn't something you can repair. The entire piece is constructed from a solid piece. You would have.
What can we put it on the mending wheel?
You could attempt to. If
Hey.
Oh, this is okay.
Okay.
Just a piece.
All right.
I want to go to the store. I would like to get a shovel and a pickaxe.
Okay.
We're going to Gummo's too. We'll all go together for doing that.
I don't give a fuck where we go.
We don't have to go. We can
just a shovel and a pickaxe.
Sure.
Shovel and pickaxe comes to.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
Save RP for good shit.
Well done. 4 gold pieces for the 2 of those.
Right.
You got them. I'm thinking. Make a secondary tinkering check.
Make a pizza check.
22.
22.
Check's good.
This time, you go back, and as you're tightening it, the actual metal housing of the device ends up bending in a way that both cracks the gem and causes the frame itself to be dented to the point where the beam will be imperfect. This is a very, very hard thing that you've come up with your mind that has not been constructed before, and the level of difficulty to create this is very difficult. It does not cost you additional money, thanks to the mending wheel, but right now the entire device looks like it's going to be, to continue, it's going to take more time and money to construct it.
I can always use this for spare parts for other things, but...
You're already 1,200 in? How much more would you have to put in?
I'd say about half the cost, so an additional 600.
How many more days?
2 more days.
Ooh, I like that.
How many more days have we had?
8. We have agreed upon 8.
This is
and then
over 8
Agreed upon
days.
8, so
Oh.
we were pushing in about
Only
7 then.
Built a smoke bomb and some and a round of bullets, so...
Correct.
I like it.
All right, I'll put a little more time in this. Can I get some inspiration for this too? That would be awesome.
Oh, music, you mean?
There's nothing I can do to help him.
I can even recommend.
Unfortunately, what's your intellect?
Go for
Huh?
it.
What's your
I can
intellect?
even recommend a song.
My
What,
intellect?
what would you like?
Here comes the sun.
I've got plus.
Lack of experience.
Here comes the sun. It's alright. Kill the vampire. It's been a long.
Come on.
Come on. Percy roll. Come on.
23.
That's a good one.
Working on the device a third time, you get it right to the point where you think it could work, and you go to set it up, and as you do, you find that the light focuses in a way that actually slowly melts the copper on the outside of the housing of the device, and it begins to melt onto itself, and you kind of pull it out of the light. It's just, this design it's beyond your grasp right now. This is something, you're inventing something that it takes quite a lot of time to eventually perfect.
Oh, you're just gonna okay. I'm gonna put these away as a for a later time, and if I have one more day, I would like to work on
Can we work maybe a version of it that's not collapsible that we can at least mount?
I got it. Don't worry about it.
We've got it taken care of.
Right.
But
So
I'm
anyway,
gonna-
that's been your guys' week, is
That's
working
my
on
week.
this.
Okay.
Okay. You bought your pickaxe and your shovel. Cool. Vex, what are you doing?
I'm training.
You training? Okay.
All right, I want to be brief. I have 4 things I want to do, but I'll be very brief.
Be very brief.
I promise. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is, I think at some point I heard Tiberius talking about wooden stakes and vampires, so I just want to go buy about 10 wooden stakes.
I give him extra to give me 20.
Okay.
I give him.
I'm going shopping. Does anyone need any
Yes,
wood?
get me some holy arrows.
Can I get a loaner on that, or?
Yeah, I'll pay you back.
Almost out of my, I've got about 230
I thought you said you were going to be brief.
And quite frankly, Vex, anything I buy
on my own.
I thought we got a bit of an allowance, didn't we?
We did.
Have
We
more
did.
money?
Yeah.
All right, so this is a week, so I get some gold from these people, and
Yeah,
I go and I
that's
get,
fine.
I don't even know what they said. I'm getting 10 wooden stakes for myself.
20, technically, because Tiberius requested
20
10
wooden
other
stakes,
ones.
all right.
Those will cost you a total of 2 gold.
That's
like
what I
they're sharpened
thought.
wood.
And then what did you want?
I wanted some holy arrows.
Hey, make an investigation check.
And try to get, or just like holy water. Try to get some holy water. Or holy
I'll
oil.
I'll get to that, yeah. Investigation, you say?
That is a 13.
13. Asking around the town, holy arrows, and it is an enchantment. They're pricey, and they don't appear to be anywhere in any of the major shops, even top by Gilmore's. That's not something they specialize in. It's usually like a special order type thing. But holy water flasks can be purchased at 25 gold a piece.
I'll get to that. All right,
Okay.
so we got wood. That was 2 gold, you said? All right, -2. The next thing I want to do is... Shit, where'd I write it? Is go to the Temple of Sarenrae.
Okay.
And get my sister's holy oil for her.
Yes.
How much is that?
Holy oil?
Yeah.
I mean, supposed to be holy water?
Take both if you got it.
Well, holy oil is a more... It's an expensive version. Holy water is a one-use. Holy oil can be applied to a weapon.
That's what I want.
2 things.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
How much do the stakes weigh? Like each stake?
Each stake, let's say a cluster of 10, if that's what you wanted, would weigh about 5 pounds.
Oh my god.
All right, so I'm gonna get...
They're relatively
Tell
light.
him that he bought me 20 more.
Tell him that he bought you?
Tell
Yeah,
him
what?
he
Okay.
I'm gonna wreck on that. Okay.
I
know they were so light.
All right, good. 40 stakes, 4 gold.
Sure. There you go.
Totally happened.
All right.
Then I went to the Temple of Sarenrae, and I got 2 vials of holy oil, one for my sister, one for me.
Those are 100 gold apiece.
Okay. Got it. I can't.
Those
you gave me gold.
I did.
I'll get 4 vials of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave him gold to do it.
Okay.
We'll work that out, I promise. And then I also find, I ask if the cleric who helped bring Pike back to life is here.
Yeah, Tristan is here.
Jesus, how do you do that?
Because I have to.
And when I find him, I say, you remember my friend Pike?
I do, yes.
You remember me?
Yes, we inspected you. Is that healing well, by the way?
He inspects the wounds in the side of your neck.
It is.
Good,
I'm
good,
grateful.
good.
I need a keepsake of your deity.
And he steps away and goes back and disappears for a minute, comes back and he's holding in a chain around his neck it looks like it's seen some years of use, but it's still clean and still very well kept. A identical holy symbol of Sarenrae is the one that Pike keeps around her neck and hands it over and kind of puts it over your head.
May she keep you safe and bring your soul to redemption.
It reminds me of my friend.
As it should.
Pats you on the cheek.
As it should.
All right, so chore number 2 down. I would like to go to Uriel's temple and ask the guards if anyone has seen my belt or Simon.
You are stopped at the edge of the Cloudtop district. The guards see you as you approach, and they just kind of block the doorway and say,
"We're sorry, but Vox Machina has been given no passage into the Cloudtop district at this time."
I understand. I don't mean to go in. I understand that we caused a lot of trouble, and I am very sorry. And I don't mean to be any further trouble. There is a belt that I left inside.
That's certainly unfortunate, isn't it?
Have you seen a snake called Simon? Or any snake?
both the guards kind of look at each other and laugh for a second.
Piss off.
Okay, chore number 4. I would like to go for the rest of the week, and I give everybody. I go back. I give everybody the things. I would like to spend the rest of the week because I'm ready. Hanging out across the road from the butcher's house.
Oh yeah.
That Kynan ran from, and if there are any youths his age who go there to shop, I would like to ask as they leave. You're not here. As they leave, if they've any idea where he's gone.
Okay.
And
You
what
go
that
ahead.
digital noise was.
Yes. Make a perception check.
Perception check.
Yes.
Oh, that's a 7, not a 1.
No, I was like,
thought it was
oh,
a 1.
no.
That is a 17.
17, okay. Keeping an eye out, you do eventually come across a boy that looks about his age, late teens, maybe early 20s. Comes by and gathers a little bit of meat and rushes off, and you kind of stop him.
Excuse me. I'm sorry to take you away from your day. I'm sorry. What is your name?
Jameson?
Jameson.
Yeah. Can I help you?
Yes.
I've really got to get this over this.
I understand. I'll just take a second of your time. I owe a boy who lives here named Kynan. I owe him a few silver, and I want to see that he gets it. Is he in town?
Make a deception check.
It's the meteorite. That's a 15.
15? Gives you a look over and goes, yeah. Well, I'm certain you get him his silver, but Kynan's been gone for the better part of a week.
Where would he have gone?
I don't know. He just told us all he was off to find his destiny or some sort of bullshit like that.
And
he
you
always
never
had his head in the clouds, that one.
I agree. He never talked about where he was going, how he meant to go about doing it?
No. Kept to himself mostly. Sorry, I wish I could be of more service. If I see him, where should I send him?
You... Well... I don't know who that guy is. If you see him, tell him that V is looking for him at Greyskull Keep.
Well, I'll pass that along.
Thank you.
Good day. And he kind of hurries off to continue his errand.
Are you alright, old man? Do you need to help out?
Yes, I'm fine. It's fine.
That's your last errand?
That's it.
Scanlan.
I go to Gilmore's. Are we near Gilmore's?
Yeah, I mean, Gilmore's in the city. He's not in the cloud top, so you have access to it still.
Okay. I want to know if such a thing exists, and if so, how much. A potion or a scroll that could invoke either Hallow or Spirit Guardians.
What?
Okay.
That's cool.
Say what?
That's fun. Spirit Guardians is dope. Like summon a bunch of Spirit
Spirit
Guardians.
Guardians is 4, Hallow is 5.
Sounds pretty
There
accurate.
you go.
And it,
Sounds...
you know what? It's a cloud of Spirit Guardians that
Okay.
flies around.
Asking on, there are no potions for, but there is a scroll of Hallow available, and I will say that comes to
Perfect sort of lot of money.
roughly 6,000 gold pieces for the scroll of Hallow.
Ooh. I got 4 grand.
How much?
6,000 for the Hallow scroll, and for the Spirit Guardian, you said it was 4th level.
4th level.
That one is 2,000 gold.
Interesting. Interesting.
What does that do?
Spirit Guardians would make some beings around us that would...
Spirit Guardian's level 3, actually, not level
Oh.
4. That actually makes it a lot cheaper. That is 600 gold.
Oh.
It scares evil things away.
That's good.
It's
Spirit
a
Guardians is dope.
pikey thing.
Do it.
Yeah.
It's Spirit
It's a
Guardians.
Pikey thing.
Okay, can I cast that? If I have a scroll? It's
If you have a scroll, you can, yeah. It has a chance of failing.
Uno más.
Yeah, you have to roll like a magic.
We're better at it because we can.
I'll buy one of the, how much did you say?
600 gold pieces.
I'll buy one of those.
All right. Scroll of Spirit Guardians. And there's only one available, but yeah. So you mark that down.
Okay, yes, I will. I would also like to find a smithy of some sort and make me like a little metal choker, like of chainmail.
A partial coif. Okay. You, remembering that you'd spoken to Karen before, which is kind of the renowned custom blacksmith in Iman, you speak with her and a chainmail half coif, kind of around the neck there is relatively inexpensive. It's just a partial piece of armor. She kind of looks at some scrap chainmail on the side and is like, I'm more than happy to use that for it. Shouldn't take me more than an hour, 2, maybe at most.
We'll get one for everyone.
I think they can buy it besides the neck, right?
Yeah, technically, but still.
Sure, I'll get 8 of them, or 7 of them.
Okay. All right.
How much are they?
7 of those, I'd say for the whole 7, I'll put you at 100 gold just because it's custom orders. So 7 of those.
Not bad.
What are they?
Getting chainmail
Chainmail chokers.
Chainmail dickies.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dickies.
Oh, what? Do you have one more?
Durable and comfortable.
And a small one of a dick.
Alrighty.
A little tiny one.
She awkwardly
4 links
has
connected together.
judge and turns that request down.
Oh.
She's uncomfortable with that.
Then I bow and leave.
Okay.
Cockmail.
She got that.
I bow.
Yes, secondary Tiberius. What is
I go to Gilmore's Glorious Goods.
Okay.
And ask at the front door if Gilmore is there.
Gilmore, unfortunately, is in Western currently, still overseeing the construction of his expansion store.
Understood. Who is the most knowledgeable person next to Gilmore in this store right now?
That would be, what's her name again? I'm trying to bring it up here. My PC
that
list. Is it Shelby? Oh, I can't find my updated NPC sheet. Do you remember what her name was?
Sherry.
Sherry, thank you. I was like, Shelby? No. Sherry.
Sherry.
Sherry is there greeting us with
She
glasses
is.
over his face. She's like, that would probably be me.
Oh, hi. You remember me.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a very important question. I won't take up much of your time.
Good.
I pull out a small metal skull cap, dented in a few places, rusted a bit from the Underdark.
Oh, yeah.
What can you tell me about this?
She takes it. If you're requesting identification of a magical item, that is a service we charge.
Sis, can I borrow a bit of money?
How much do you need?
How much would that require?
125 gold pieces per enchantment identified.
Done.
All right.
Talk her down.
She takes it, steps inside, sits on the counter, and starts going through her books and starts like kind of looking at it and holding it for a second and kind of doing a full inspection of it and researching it. Just based on the enchantment on this device, it's very crude in construction, and the enchantment is of an arcane offshoot of language I'm not very familiar with. But it appears it is a guard from some sort of mental influence. If worn, it would give you a stronger resistance against things that would attempt to peer into your mind.
We're talking magic.
Yes. So essentially what it would do is it would give you advantage on wisdom saving throws against magical spells.
Pretty great.
Against
Give you advantage on wisdom saving throws against magical effects.
Hells yes.
That's fucking brilliant.
That's how Clarota managed to
I hand
avoid a
over
lot
the
of
gold and say,
What, the helmet?
Scanlan sends his regards.
She kind of noticeably blushes a little bit and goes, well, send mine back if you wouldn't mind.
You know it.
Does she have anything else like that?
I've got work to do. And she rushes off.
Thank you.
All right, now.
Very clever.
Tiberius.
There's 16 errands to run.
I only have 8.
Oh, God.
Just kidding. No. The real quick ones go to the Temple of Sundry to pick up my canteen.
Okay.
Have
you paid for it already?
Yes.
Yes, you paid up front. Okay.
Yes.
So you get the canteen. The explanation is the enchantment of the actual water creation itself is a separate than the holy enchantment that has been attached to it. The holy enchantment is not very powerful because it is already an enchanted item. How it functions is the first burst per day that you use of the water does an additional 1d6 radiant damage. That's it. But any additional after that is just water. Basically, the whatever water is immediately contained within it at the start of the day is considered blessed. Once that's expelled, all the rest that it creates, because it's pulling it out of the elemental plane of water, that's how it's continuously projecting it. The rest of it is just run straight through, so it doesn't have a chance to even absorb the blessing.
Gotcha. Great. Cool. Second thing, I drop off my swallow to, I'll call it the Surge Blade, is what I'll call it, and to have that enchanted on both ends.
With?
So talk about one side fire, the other side water. So however many mages I have to hire for that to happen in 10 days, I think we talked about it would be 8 days. Or is that
Are we
longer?
talking about the granny?
Or is that only one side?
So, what enchantment do you want? Do you want to just do an additional? What do you want it to be?
I just want it to be a magical weapon.
Just a magical weapon?
Yeah.
Okay, just a general +1 magical weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. That would take about Let me double check the rarity. This is here. One quick setup here with the weapons this way.
In the meantime, check out those Critical Role keychains available on the Geek and Sundry site.
That would run you
No, but seriously.
approximately 700 gold to create it as a +1 magical item.
Okay.
Would take one mage a week to do it.
Okay. So I'll do that.
Okay.
So if you had 20 mages, it would be
So
plus 20.
for the week that it takes, you pay 700 gold pieces. Your quarterstaff with a couple of daggers typed to the end.
Surge blade.
Is now considered a +1 magical weapon.
Okay.
What?
I stop at Gilmore's.
Okay.
And I drop off my ring of protection, and pay whatever that is to add a +1 to make it instead of a minor, an actual ring of protection.
The unfortunate thing is an enchantment cannot be progressively enhanced. You would have to disenchant and then re-enchant the entire thing.
Gilmore said that they could do that there before. That's why I would just have to cough up the green, or the gill, as it were.
No, they can enchant the item with it, but like it would be the cost of basically re-enchanting the item.
How much would it make it to be a thing?
That would be.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, here we go. That would cost approximately 25,000 gold pieces.
Oh, jeez.
And
that's it?
would
25,000?
take a better part of a year. It's a +2 ring of protection is a very powerful item.
It's a good investment.
Okay, how
If you even acquired one earlier, it was
What? How about
luck.
buffing the ring of storing?
Ring of spell storing?
Fuck.
The thing that I had that I still want. That one.
The ring of storing. Spell
Talk. That's right.
Ring of spell storing is that's its enchantment. Like there is no more powerful version of the ring of spell storing.
Oh, that's shit.
If you wanted to attempt to do that yourself on your own time, you could.
Ooh, I'm gonna do that.
That will cost you upwards 60,000 gold pieces in about a year.
Well, not right now.
How about we stick to the level we're at?
You know what? I didn't know all that stuff was gonna be that way. That's why I asked.
That's all right. How do you
it's good to
learn
ask.
if you don't ask? It's all right.
Exactly. No, it's good to ask these things. Yeah.
Okay, so in the while the days are going, I want to roll for animal handling to teach Lockheed stuff, and which is like every morning or whatever, and then also
I'll say throughout the week because you've taught Lockheed a lot of things back to back.
Yeah.
You can't like just cram everything in there in the period of 4 days and be like, you learned everything. So I'll give you a roll for because you've already taught Lockheed one thing this week. Roll for a second thing you want to teach Lockheed.
Like with advantage. I'm just having fun.
Can I roll for one beer?
Sure, I'll give you advantage. I'll give you advantage.
Oh, that's fine. That's
I'll give
fine.
you
I'll take that. That's 17.
It's a roll with advantage. Go for it.
17.
Okay.
For the sake of brevity, can I roll one beer check?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can roll several beer checks.
Yeah, you roll
43.
Bunch of beer checks.
43, it starts filling in.
Ton of beer checks. Do it.
81.
Nope.
86.
Come on, Grog.
That was good.
Ooh.
16.
Ooh.
16.
Ooh.
68.
What?
19.
How do you get under 10?
He's 3 for 3.
58.
Okay. So by the time the week comes to an end, the other side of your beard has finally filled in, and you are back to a full bearded grog status.
Good job, Garoga.
So yeah, no, that succeeds. It takes you a few days to get it through, but what do you want to teach Lockheed?
Ripping your pillow.
I'm
No,
gonna,
you beat me like half a
I'm
second.
gonna teach him to be
Half a
quiet.
second.
Yeah.
Okay.
To be
Yeah, man.
quiet.
A very important thing to teach a creature.
Yes.
Okay, so Lockheed has learned to be quiet. Good.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yes. Just to make sure I got that. Throughout the days, I'm gonna go to all the shops and see how many glass just mirrors. I'm looking for mirrors. Just all kinds of mirrors, every size, as long as I can.
There are plenty of mirrors out there. Like there are
I'm
general
looking-
stores that sell them all over.
I'm
They're
looking for 5x5 to 10x10 size mirrors.
Feet?
Yeah.
5x5.
No, inches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stone
I
man.
misunderstood.
Like there, and then like that. I mean,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, they could have them custom made if they weren't out there, but they have mirrors of that size
I need
available.
about
for purchase.
1,500 of them.
What?
Can I get 1,500? Okay, well, how many can I get?
There aren't that many mirrors in the city.
Okay, I want to get as many, all of them.
You know, if you hold two right up next to each other, it looks like there's a million.
You know
of
what?
them.
That's true. That's true.
They are 5 gold apiece.
Okay.
And of what is currently available for purchase, you may be able to acquire about 35 mirrors, and you will clean out most of the places that will stop selling them to you at a
That's a
certain
lot
point.
of mirrors.
That's
dude.
cutting edge technology in this
How many?
day and age.
If I laid them out on a flat surface, how many feet
On a
would
bed.
that? How many feet would
Just
that? Or a ceiling? How many feet would that cover?
Well, 2 per foot. Dibs.
That's
They're
math.
5 inches apiece, right? You can fit 2 in a foot. So you just bought 35. So that's about
I'm gonna fucking kill
17.
17
feet
feet.
of mirrors?
17 whole feet of mirrors.
No, that's
In a row, in a line,
If
right?
you're doing a square, it's like 3 feet by 3
Yeah,
feet.
it's
3 by 3 feet.
4 by 4.
Say 4 by 4 foot, yeah.
4 by
pretty much.
4.
So there you go.
Okay.
4 by 4.
I'll take all that. How much is that?
Okay. 35 times 5. So we're looking at
Not bad.
175 gold.
Yeah.
Done. And I think I got that. So that right. And then the just to for timeline stuff, I'm gonna do as much as I can to start enchanting my bolts. And I'm gonna be working with Keylith on stuff.
Keylith's been working with Percy this whole time.
The whole time?
I'm telling you.
It's taken the entire week for him. You said you were assisting him.
No, you said I couldn't assist him.
Right.
You said I had no intelligence to assist him.
Right. So she's
Okay,
free.
so then I thought you said you were still going to help cheer him
No,
on,
I
so that's
said
fine.
no.
Right.
Okay, then no worries. Then yeah, you're available.
I'm gonna try to make as many sleep arrows as I can, bolts as I can. But the particular thing with Keylith is I would like to enchant a bolt that is a smoke screen, but it consists of my holy water. So I'll use it like a pour from a day from the canteen and use that as a mist instead of a smoke. So a mist.
The
screen.
enchantment of an arrow to do that is the use of a fog spell. There is no way to infuse a fog spell with holy water.
Right.
That's what I was saying.
That's what I'm saying, like-
I don't know if you can put holy water. I can do a fog spell.
Can we fuse a fog spell with a sleep spell?
No.
Can we try super hard?
Sure, make a roll.
God damn it. Okay.
Make a roll.
The best I could possibly do is maybe take one of these holy water things.
What am I rolling?
Plus Arcana.
Do you think it matters?
No.
No.
24.
24, okay. After spending approximately 500 gold in materials, the enchantment fails, both spells fizzled, you lost 500 gold.
Okay. It was worth a shot.
But now you know. Probably can't combine 2 spells into a single enchantment.
I'm just saying.
And knowing
How much
is
for
half
the
the
normal
battle.
fog thing? Don't worry, it came out of my pocket.
I've got fog.
Okay.
How about you get nothing else and we move on?
Last thing that I do.
No last thing.
I stop at Alora's.
You go towards the Cloud Top District, and the guards stop you again and be like,
Oh goddamn,
"You've
we can't
already
go
been
there.
told, sir, you're not allowed
I
in this
remember
district."
that as I walk up, and I go back to Greyskull Keep.
All right.
Oh wait, I don't do that.
I don't do that.
Hashtag Aranakaba.
I realize what I'm doing, and I stop.
Okay. So you head back to the keep.
Also, this will just take 10 seconds. At some point in the week, when Keylith is taking a walk,
kill everybody.
I go into her garden and I clip one flower, and I take it.
Okay. All right.
How many sleep bolts can I make in 10 days?
How many sleep bolts? Well, let's see.
That's right. 8.
Go sleep in your money.
Sorry. You said I could do that.
I'm kind of busy this week.
Can he get back? Can he get back to the keep and we've all left like 4 days ago?
That would be awesome.
I will say.
Carrying groceries in.
Look, guys, hoagie stuff. Dear Tiberius.
We
left.
We got really bored and we left.
Vox Machina.
Okay, I will say for each arrow will cost you 600 gold, and will take you 6 days to do per arrow. You will
6 days per arrow?
yes. It's 1 day per 100 gold of an enchantment.
How do you make any money?
Which
with
is
this?
even me making it higher than the book says. It should take you 4 times that. So
Cool. Can it cost more if I hire a mage? Or should I say?
Oh my god.
you want to hire a mage,
I need
double
to
the
do shit
cost.
too.
you get
One
the
arrow.
time.
I can't be
Okay.
everyone's bitch.
Okay.
So 3.5 days, and it costs you 1,200 gold for a single sleep arrow or sleep bolt.
Sweet. And I can do 2 of those, and I'm broke.
He's done. He's spent, people. He's spent.
I got like 48 gold now.
Okay, so you've done all your shopping in one day and spent the rest of the week doing those. All right, so there you go. You're broke and you have 2 sleep bolts on your person. Keylith.
48 gold.
I go to Gilmore's and I buy an alchemy set.
Okay. That comes to
95,000 gold. It's gonna be a lot more than you think, apparently. Because I'm like, well, I got like, I got some.
alchemist supplies, 50 gold.
Oh, come on.
Enchanted, yo! It's magic. Give me all the magic. How much does that cost?
This is made of things.
Yeah.
This is made of things. And then I go home and I make a few cure wounds potions, try it out since I've learned and I've been studying and I've been doing my research. So maybe like do like level 2, level 3 cure wounds potions.
A level 2 healing potion, a greater healing potion. The materials involved in creating that will come to, I'd say, about 400 apiece.
Okay.
And you'd have time to create 2. It's about 4 days per potion. To purchase, they cost about 500 to 600. She's getting a discount because she's making it herself.
Ooh. Wait, they cost 500 or 600 and they cost 400 for me to make them?
Yes. It's your first time doing it. They'll probably get cheaper over time as you get better at it. But.
Oh, okay, cheaper over time as I get better at it. That's funsies.
We also
okay. Well, let me make one. What is that? A greater healing potion?
It's a greater healing.
Greater healing potion.
So for each one you make, roll a d20 and add 5.
Let me make one for right now.
Okay.
That's an 18. That's pretty good.
Then
23.
yeah, you successfully create the potion. No issue.
Awesome. And then I'm gonna make a couple of. I have a Percy roll, and he hates me for it. And now I'm gonna make a couple of. How long will it take me to make a daylight scroll?
A daylight scroll. What level spell is that?
3rd.
3rd. That'll take you. That'll cost you about, I'd say, 600 gold piece. It'll take you 6 days. You don't have time.
I don't have
You could
time.
pay more to have somebody else help you make one if you wanted to.
Then I make 2 greater healing potions and call it. Actually, no. I want to experiment. I want to take one of those healing holy water bottles, and I want to see if I can enchant it with my fog spell to make it like a holy water fog grenade, where when you throw it, it'll go with my fog spell.
Yeah.
But also holy smoke bomb.
You know that upon throwing the holy water, it would shatter. It would create a fog, but the holy water itself would just still affect the creature you threw it at. You'd be able to blend the 2 enchantments. They don't necessarily mix because it's the fog itself is not created from the water. It's created from the glass that you're enchanting.
Plus, we didn't get any holy water. We only got holy oil to put on our weapon.
We've had a couple flasks of holy water. I think.
Okay.
I do.
What if I enchant it with like daylight? Oh wait, it still won't. It'll still
Enchanting
take
a glass, it's a whole different thing. Daylight, that's more of a scroll thing to.
I'm gonna do it anyway, cause I'm gonna do the fog thing, cause I said it. I'm gonna commit.
Okay. That will
Yeah.
cost you.
Set standard.
I'll put it at 500 gold pieces, and that'll take you 5 days.
For a fog scroll?
No, for the fog holy water thing.
Special hoo-ha.
The fog.
And the
Called
spectacular
the holy smoke grenade.
Someday we will get out of the character creation menu, but not this day.
I don't like the nose yet. I don't like the nose yet. It's
Okay.
too low.
Sure, that'll be my 2 things I do. This here?
Okay, roll another
This
d20. Plus 5.
This here? Natural 20.
All right. You feel the fog enchantment take shape in the glass vial. It seems relatively unstable. You gather that this glass was not meant to contain an enchantment at the get-go. You've somehow managed to make it function, but you have to be very careful with that vial.
Here, put it in here.
No, don't.
Who knows what'll happen if it actually is thrown?
Put it in a bag of holding.
Give it a Scanlan.
Yeah.
Who would like a very unstable item?
Percy's used to unstable things.
I give it to Scanlan.
Is that a jab at my? No, never mind.
It's a fog enchanted vial of holy water. You can write it down that way if you like.
Not discuss my
Cool, I'll
taste.
just
Really?
Put it on my back.
Okay, you just.
I mean, I'll just
No,
hang
please,
it,
no, be
hang it
careful.
with-
Please
hang
be
it from
careful.
a-
It's very
one strap
careful.
of leather.
It's very
Okay.
gentle.
All right.
Oh wait, I tell him Scanlan.
Oh, yes.
Scanlan,
Yes.
this is very delicate. Please be very gentle with this. I don't know
You're
if you should
telling
have it.
Scanlan to be
I will
gentle.
put it where I put all gentle things.
Oh dear.
Ew.
That I trust.
Fancy.
I trust that more.
Pants
Fine,
that bad boy.
good.
You do not make the wisest decisions yet, Your Majesty, I must say.
Yes, for
What
it.
was once holy. All right.
Your proxy.
Oh God.
All right. So, what is the
I
plan?
give everyone else the chain. I give everyone the chain.
Okay. There's a little chainmail.
Oh, look at this, so fancy.
Put that, I take that fancy box I bought a couple times ago, and I take the blue crystal that we found in our very first adventure, and I put it in it, and I seal it tight.
Okay.
And then I also I had one more thing I wanted to do.
also
Oh yes, I drink my shit scrying potion, shit in a jar, and leave it in the kitchen.
Okay.
And
by the
tell
way-
help, don't touch it.
Okay.
Don't.
It takes much convincing, but nevertheless, they acquiesce to your request, being the boss. So. All right. Anything else?
Yeah.
Just gonna let the guards know to watch our guest while we're away and keep him under protection.
Okay.
Are we leaving him here?
I told everyone to
think
go
so.
somewhere to the
Oh God.
The what?
the guy who builds stuff. Like regardless, did I do that or is that just in my head?
Right, Lord Doxio, you mean?
Yeah.
What
Do
about
I-
him?
I didn't do that yet. Okay.
Yeah, you gonna do something on his room, Keylith?
I go find Jarrett.
Okay.
Can do the thing.
And I give him
The element.
200 gold. And I say, do not let Desmond
Yes.
leave your side.
Think Tutu.
Watch him, watch for invisible anything. Protect him with everything you can.
I will do this with my life. Do not worry.
Have we given them a raise?
I just gave him 200 fucking
Dou-
gold.
Him.
Double
the
the
rest
guard
of
on
the
him.
the rest of the
Double the
people.
guard on him.
And yeah, everybody. Fuck.
Just two.
They all make.
Just
five
two.
of them make 100
I give
a
100.
month. 5 of them make 100 a month. 2 of them make 50 a month.
I give another 200 to him and tell him to pass it out to the rest of the guard. We'll be back soon.
Very generous, and I think they will be very happy to find this. Thank you very much.
I told
And
everyone.
add another guard to the watch.
2 to Jared, or 2 to Desmond, at all times.
Very well. I will do this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna tell everyone to go and ask for court for the lord that we can reconstruct and tell him that we would like to make some changes and have the cells converted into barracks for our soldiers.
What?
They won't do anything.
Just tell them that. That's what I do. That's what Tiberius does.
Okay, Erwin goes, all right, sir. And he wanders off, and
Getting a good reputation does not mean holding prison cells.
about an hour or so later, Erwin returns and says, I'm sorry, they would not allow me into the central district. I do not have
I had to ask.
the proper papers to pass within. I mentioned that I worked for you, and they told me I was not to enter.
Maybe we should have said like a different name.
It's okay.
They would have known when they got to our keep.
That's true, right?
Shall we head out?
Yes.
Did
So
I
wait.
learn anything from Seeker Assume?
Go ahead and roll a d20, adding your wisdom modifier.
Aw, jeez, really?
Come on, Laura.
Aw,
Come on,
What if
Laura.
I roll like shit?
Then
Well,
it'll
don't.
be hilarious.
Don't
Come
do
on,
it.
roll that
Do
die.
good.
Come on.
I'll
Maybe
say-
you'll
I'll
roll
make-
high and it will be
I'll say
amazing.
Make it with advantage because Asum is a very, very good teacher.
He is. He's so good.
He's awesome.
No, that was terrible.
He's look.
Advantage.
You are playing D&D right now. All right.
That's my wisdom.
Reality.
17?
Pretty good.
17?
Is she an
okay.
emperor now?
is that how this works? All right, so talking with Asum, he works with you for a bit and teaches you the ranger ability skirmisher stealth.
Skirmisher stealth?
Nice.
The rural juror?
Okay.
So if you start one of your turns hidden from a
Yes.
creature, you can then, as a bonus action, at the end of your turn, make another stealth check to remain hidden from them. You essentially can dive between areas and still be hidden.
What just
While I'm
happened there?
attacking?
Yeah.
That's all ranger stuff?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go over the details of it after the game. But yeah,
Okay.
it's essentially you learn a new ranger ability from Secret Asum.
Wow. I bought some sticks.
All right.
At the end of the first day, before all that stuff happens, Sorry, guys, this is necessary.
Is it?
First day?
Is it?
And this is the first. Look, guys, I destroyed him.
Everybody shut up and let Grog go on a one-man solo.
We're on 10. We're on 10 errands.
What a piece of
Just gonna secede.
How noble in reason.
I was joking when
Tiberius,
I said
what do you want to do?
He's up to 10.
Yeah, no, it's
In my lab the
serious.
first night, and I write an inscription to my father, and I go, "Dear father," and I tell him about the circumstances with the vampires.
Dear diary.
Sorry.
At the end of it, I go, "I invoke the ambassador's right of wartime, as of now, and moreover as your son. When I provide concrete evidence, you will know. But in the meantime, I would have you gather 50 ground troops of the Draconian Knights and 50 winged soldiers of the Wyvern Fleet. Have them at the ready for my signal. I know it will take you a few days of travel to get here. But this is a town of vampires and possibly liches which you know just need to be destroyed no matter what. Your son, with love, Tiberius."
All right.
Everyone
Send it off.
is aware that Tiberius is the giant eagles in Lord of the Rings. Tiberius can invoke just ultimate destruction at the call of whatever he wants.
I don't know what's going on over there.
All right. As the week comes to a close, eventually a note appears before you, Tiberius, within your magical room. It reads,
Return to
Tiberius, child. I understand your request. However, you are fresh to these political matters, and as the young one prone to jump at the sight of a shadow, I would need some very, very heavy proof to invoke wartime, which, if I might add, is not your jurisdiction but my own. Should you wish to bring this to my attention, you are welcome to, but you have but one chance before I set aside this intrusion to my work time as mere poppycock. Tiberius, I trust that in time you will prove yourself to this family and to this country. But for the time being, business matters of this larger scale are best left to those with experience. With love, Pruvanis Stormwind.
Send him 3 more letters.
Damn it. That sucks, actually. It was hard to prove that my fucking father. Fine. Fine. He didn't say no, which is what he always says, which is a lot better than what he always says.
I walk into Tiberius' room while he's having this conversation with himself, and I say,
Keylith's there.
What are you doing in here?
I'm talking to myself, Scanlan.
Okay. All right.
Per usual.
I'm gonna go get some garlic from the kitchen, and then let's go.
Oh, I love garlic. I'll follow you.
I write a note addressed to Uriel, hand it to our main butler, who I know his name.
Erwin.
And it basically says, Uriel, FYI, we didn't totally flee. We's looking for evidence. No. We didn't flee. We'll be back. How about that? We'll be back.
All right. The note is left with Erwin.
And I tell him, only give this to anybody if they come looking for us and they're angry. We're going to be in big trouble.
P.S. No campers.
Yes. Of course.
Grog, do you think I should do the whole elemental, guardian thing?
Why not?
Alright.
How are you doing, Grog?
I'm fucking bored.
Any errands to do at all?
I've been sitting here for 30 fucking minutes.
You went and bought a shovel and a
Cast an
pickaxe.
elemental and make it smash everything around the keep.
Oh, here.
Give me that ruby.
Here, just hit me once.
Whoa.
Ting!
Go.
Catch it.
Right.
Water elemental seems appropriate based
Great.
on our knowledge, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Water elemental, poof!
All right.
And planar bindings,
All right. So,
and I talk to him in my elemental speech, which I can do.
And you say?
And I say, look, we're gonna be gone for like 30 days. We have a prisoner here. Make sure nothing or no one brings him any harm.
not a drink.
That make you thirsty?
No, I was gonna.
Just say, you know I can speak English. What's the?
The elemental gives you an acknowledgement and speaks back in its own tongue. The equivalent of, "For my time here, I serve."
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
For my time here, I serve is essentially the essence of what you get.
For my time here, I serve.
For my time here, I serve. All right.
Onward. I love doing this show.
Do we know where we're going?
We're gonna.
Yeah,
We're gonna
I
kill
know
the guy
where we're
now.
going.
Cure the guy.
Oh.
What are we doing?
Percival
We're going to kill
DeRolo
the
knows where we're gonna
Briarwoods.
go.
We head to Turst Fields.
Are we
shit. All right.
Are we riding there by horseback? Is that what we're doing?
Nope.
How are we getting there?
Free your mind, and the rest will follow.
Do we know where we're going?
Well, Percy's in the Turst Fields. The Turst Fields, you do know. Some of you may have passed by them. They are to the east, kind of northeast area of Westruun, on the eastern side of the continent. It's about, I'd say, about 4.5 days travel horseback.
What if we purchased a carriage?
What if we went on airship instead? We have one at our disposal, do we not?
Well, we had one at our disposal when we were friends of the city.
It's I think it's in the Cloud Top district
It might cost us a little
actually.
bit more coin to rent one, but
I have a feeling.
I think we need to
Wagon.
go
Let's just go.
on the down low.
Besides, yeah,
keep this on
we're
the
trying
down
not
low.
to tell anybody that we're leaving.
down low up there on the up high, right?
Just down low.
Carriage. Let's go. How much do they cost?
Your undercarriage?
Do we need a
Nothing.
carriage? We have a stable full of horses.
Rein it in.
Yes, my
we're going to
warhorse.
fight
I got
vampires.
4 horses, and you technically have the teleportation sigil for Westruun.
Oh yeah.
Is Briarwood keep over there?
Westruun's most of the way across the continent. It's about a day's ride out from Westruun.
Oh shit.
That would
Let's do it.
shave time.
Shebang.
That would shave about 3 days off of your journey.
Matt, I'm pretty sure it's a Google.
Do that.
Western, yeah.
Dude, you guys.
Turst Fields is just northeast of Westruun.
Do that.
Let's do it.
That's quick.
I love that idea a
What's
lot.
in those fields? What's in those fields?
Fields
The
of
Turst
gold.
Fields are a farming community that takes care of a lot of the eastern side. They're not really an extension of Westruun, but it's one of the closest cities, and they do a lot of food trade up into Whitestone, or did previously. You
It's
don't
where
know
I
how.
would make our camp before we start heading
Got it.
outwards.
First of
Alright, well, let's
all,
head there and make camp.
I
We
think
can talk about a plan.
yes. I think Percival, you're leading the way. Use my sister as an advisor, but you're leading the way right now.
I'm going to draw out a crude map while we make our way, so that I can sort of let you all know where we're going.
Well, then join me in my laboratory, everyone.
All right. Yes, we go to Tiberius's laboratory.
Okay, Tiberius, you go ahead and cast a teleportation circle.
Not yet. I go, hey, look at the laboratory, guys. What do you think? I made some scanning. It looks like you're impressed.
All right, now I cast circle.
Now you cast circle teleportation.
I use my sigil there.
Yep.
For the guy set up there.
Yep. And the circle appears. You guys rush through it. You do not have your horses with you because they would not be able to travel through the teleportation circle with you. However, you could probably procure some.
Get
while
some
you're
in
Western.
Western. It's fine.
In doing that, you guys, just for the case of brevity on this, because we've been missing that for a lot of this session.
Let's do this in real time.
Yes. We'll say the total gold to purchase horses for the whole party is
After I haggled. Because let's be honest, I would have.
You would have. Go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
You would have.
Even in real time.
Do it.
21.
Yeah.
21. Okay. Yeah, we'll put you at about. We'll say. Because you are renowned in this area and you've helped in Westruun, helped them during the Winter's Crest Festival the year before, using that discount and well knowledge there, you managed to procure everyone outfitted with horses, including your war horse, for 210 gold.
Got it.
Nice. War horses.
Which is a pretty decent discount.
Yes,
I mean,
it is.
real talk. Really.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Can I share my map?
You can, yeah.
You made a map.
You drew that just now?
No, I've forged all of our documents. You are aware of that,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like anytime we've needed papers.
Wait, where is West? Oh, there's Westruun. That's where we are right now. So we have to go.
Oh,
I just spit on your map, Percy.
I see.
Up through the woods into
fine, I
like
don't
mountains. Whitestone is mountains.
But you can handle that.
Yeah, I can handle both.
We're here, and we've got to go
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
Let's set out.
So you have two paths. You have the path into the center of the Parchwood Woods, that leads up into the valley of the Alabaster Sierras that surround it. That is the direct route to Whitestone. That leads through the main pathway
Where they'll
through
be
the central
expecting.
forest to the front of the city. There's also the Alabaster Sierras themselves, which surround that peninsula that extends into the northern part of the continent. They are very tall, fjord-like, craggy mountain ranges right up against the sea along the edge. They're a little more treacherous, but a little more out of the way and kind of a backdoor route. So you guys choose which route you want to take.
I would prefer not the direct route.
Always go in the back door.
Can you say anything that is just not laced with sexual innuendo?
I'm
trying to figure it out.
Mountain ranges are mountain ranges are part of my favorite terrain, so we don't get disadvantage, traveling through.
I would prefer taking that
Sure.
direction. I don't want to head straight towards them.
There probably will be mountain giants, though. Remember that throw boulders, and they'll be terrible.
The Pershwood forests are dangerous as they are. There's really no safe way.
All right.
Trust Percy, whatever you say.
I do as well.
Percy, you are aware that there have been problems in the past with various mountain-faring giants that lived north of Whitestone that occasionally would wander too far south, and there were certain, but they mostly kept to themselves, but occasionally they had some crossover, and there were some scuffles here and there. Okay, so you guys are deciding to take the Alabaster Sierras.
Yes, and I want to cast Pass Without a Trace on everyone.
Okay. You guys head out from Westruun. It takes about a day's worth of travel. You go ahead and stop in the Terse Fields. It's a small farming community. You ask around for a bit. Most of the folks there say that they haven't had much trade or communication with Whitestone like they used to. They do provide crops and such, but they don't allow anyone past into the actual forest. They're traded at the boundary of the forest. They still pay gold, but it just seems like a very more enclosed scenario. But very few folks there seem to be questioning it as business as usual is still left within Terse Fields. Make your way northward to the bottom of the Alabaster Sierras, and as you begin heading up the outskirts of this mountain range, you do notice that the mountains are extremely high in altitude eventually. Like it's just this perpetual climb at nearly a 40-degree angle as you continue upward further. And the drop off at the edge of the cliff is 1,000, 2,000 feet at times, just straight down into the ocean and rocks below.
Death.
There are paths worn up here. It has been used as travel before, although uncertain as to how recent they have been traversed. Occasionally the wind picks up and you kind of have to steer yourself and put yourself against the side. The path, thankfully, is maybe 15, 20, sometimes 30 feet in width. It's not too much where you're being forced against the edge, but it's enough to just be aware of the danger of the circumstance. You guys are heading up, I'd say, about half a day's travel. It's about 2 in the afternoon before the... and also you can tell through the... there are slight outcroppings a few hundred feet down to the bottom, a few bits of stone that jut out from the side, and you can see small nests or bushes that have kind of taken root on those side areas. The rock itself of this mountain range is unusually, unnaturally white. Like the actual rock that forms this entire region is it's almost like a glowing quartz-like texture. There are parts that are almost translucent, some parts that are just a very, very milky white, and you can get, number one, you can now understand as to partially why the area is called Whitestone in the town nearby. And you've heard mention from Percy in the past of the large quarries there that mine the stone for various uses and export it throughout all of Tal'Dorei. And that's where a large portion of the town was kind of built around that trade at the very beginning of its construction. Eventually you come to a point where there is a fall off on the path, where there erosion or some sort of large impact of the side caused the path to fall into a scooped crevasse. It is a smooth fall down the side. There's no way across other than a large sea salt air rotted rope bridge that goes across about 100 feet. And you see it kind of rocking with the wind.
I don't think this looks very stable.
Man, you know what I would give for a flying fucking carpet right now?
So the bridge is just out?
No, the bridge is across.
looks a little rickety.
I would
it's
love
not like
to-
terrible or frightening, but it's been there for a while, and you can tell from the color of the rope. I think
How far is it across the?
100 feet.
I'm gonna.
Should I go first, everyone?
I just want to inspect it from an engineering perspective, if that's possible.
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
10.
Okay. Looking at it, I mean the anchors are pretty solid in the stonework. There's no looseness to their element. The rope itself is taut and it seems to have serviced long enough. There are no signs of like extreme wear other than just time and weather.
I'm gonna walk forward.
It's a bridge.
Wait, I'm
And-
gonna tie the fucking rope around your waist before you do that.
Jesus.
Oh, that's quite a good idea.
Sarenrae, jeepers. I start to. I'm gonna use perception. I'm gonna look at it before going out. That is a 23.
All right. Are you taking your horse with you?
No,
Oh, no,
I leave my horse with
horses.
my sister.
Okay. Horse is left with.
I'm on foot. I'm on all fours, really.
Okay.
Spidering out.
Making your way across, you get halfway across the bridge.
Hold on to me.
There's the
bro.
creaking sound and the slight movement as the wind picks up at times, and you kind of like.
So I'm lasting, but can I make? What would I make like as an insight check to decide if I thought Grog could make it across this thing?
Investigate.
Make an intelligence check. Just roll and add your intelligence modifier.
Is it 10?
Take that 0 off it, and you got it.
Wow, well done.
Best you can tell, Grog looks like a big guy.
This is
Looks
fun.
like strong rope.
You
It could
swing
work.
back and forth.
You don't know.
It could
We are
work.
so
Grog, I think you might like this.
How far
flying?
across? How far across
100
is the
feet.
bridge?
100
feet.
Once you're across, let's secure the rope that's attached to you, and we'll make ourselves just a guideline that we can hang on to.
I like
just in
it.
case
All
anything
right,
goes
he
wrong.
sounds like a Debbie Downer, Grog, but I'll go across, and then you can follow.
Okay, you make the rest of your way across. No issue. The rope bridge carries your weight all the way.
Tie your rope.
All right.
I tie on the other side.
Is there anything on the other side I could tie it to?
There's a couple of small cliffside trees that kind of grow off in strange, kind of almost like twisting bonsai tree-like branches that stick off. They're pretty
I
sturdy.
use a sailor knot.
Okay.
I use a special ranger knot that's really extra strong.
Secret ranger knot. Well played. All right.
Ranger knot!
So who's up next?
I double knot mine.
Well, we gotta get the
I'll go
horses
next.
across.
Do we?
Yeah, they ain't coming.
They're not coming? Oh, well then I just dimension door
horses.
across the.
Okay.
Take somebody with you.
Jeepers! Were you warned, half elf, when you're gonna do that?
Sorry.
Jeepers.
All right.
Hey,
Spooks
does
you for a
anyone
second.
know?
You kind of hold on. You make your way across.
Oh, only are they your size? Oh,
You guys are now on the other side. You're holding on to everyone's horses left behind, and now you're.
Trinket.
I tie up all the horses to
Okay.
a very large tree.
Are we just going by foot now? Is that what we're doing?
Looks like it.
Can horses not
Will
pass through there? Or they just can't
you-
cross over?
You tried.
Tiberius, are you still on our side?
I'm on. Everybody's. I'm still on the
Are you with me still?
your side.
Correct.
Will you cast fly on Trinket? I love you.
Sure. Do you want to make it across? You leave. We can leave.
I can climb on him and you cast fly on him and you only have to use one little spell.
If I cast it on him, I would probably jump on myself because I'm a little bit heavier than you are, darling.
Then do it!
She's haggling you right now.
You can have him afterwards.
No, yeah, you can go and I'll just use the little rope.
Yeah, it's fine.
Alright.
All right.
Proceed.
So you cast fly on Trinket. Trinket.
No, I
Oh,
don't.
you don't.
I don't do shit yet.
Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
waiting for you guys to get across, so if something happens, then I can cast stuff and
Okay.
save people.
Just protect him.
Yes,
All right, so you get on Trinket's back.
No,
you just
he
let
hasn't
him-
cast it on him yet.
You take her hanging back.
So who's going across now? Who's going?
I am.
Okay, you make it across. Issue, no problem. You're light enough, and able to kind of guide the movement of the
I
bridge.
think
without
I
issue.
only had one frittata the
Keylith?
other day.
Here's my question.
Mhm.
What looks shaky? The connection of the bridge or the actual physical condition of the bridge itself?
The physical condition of the bridge. There's no actual visible point that is.
A bridge.
Yeah.
Alright, just for bonus added safety, in case this bridge gives way, I'm gonna cast Grasping Vine and kind of have it loop and wrap around the edge of the
Okay.
bridge. Kind of further enforce it.
Smart.
Great.
As far as I can
The
go.
vines reach around and wrap around the edges of the actual wood slats and the rope handholds, and it seems to be pretty well
good.
held on that side.
See.
Okay.
At least outside will be fine. And then I'll
Do it, Jake.
No
I'll go
issue.
across.
Oh, okay, that's good too.
Cool. Make it across without problem.
Who else needs to go across?
Just you and
Me, you, and
Tiberius
Trinket.
then.
You want me to go first?
No, it's fine.
Oh.
I hop on Trinket and I pet Lucky. Now we're friends. And then I hop on Trinket and cast Fly on him and remember how to go across. And then as we start floating across, I'm gonna cast Telekinesis on Grog and take him with me. Kind of like Green Lantern.
Okay.
Concentration spells.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
That should be 12 seconds to get across a bridge, right?
Yeah, that'll be 12 seconds, which will be enough time. So as you're coasting over with Trinket, kind of floating, you turn around and cast Telekinesis Grog. All of a sudden, you're lifted up and kind of held aloft. You look down over yourself, waving your hands instinctually, looking down. You can see about a good 600, 700-foot drop before the rock kind of comes to a point which would probably splinter or crush anyone that fell into it, and then is pushed out into the ocean. So it's a little scary, but you start flailing about as you're being pulled across by Tiberius. Eventually, Trinket comes, lands on the other side safely. You guide Grog over down onto his feet, safe and sound.
Who's left?
No
one.
That's
The
everyone.
horses.
Oh, the horses.
Oh yeah, what are you
All
gonna do with the
tied up on the
horses?
other side.
We tied him up.
I'm going to dispel the fly, but I'm gonna hold the telekinesis for the 10 minutes I can.
Okay.
And on Grog. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna keep that spell going.
Okay, cool. Alrighty.
I say a prayer of thanks to the horses who will surely die of starvation.
Nay.
Oh,
They were tied up in a super grassy area
They'll
with a shit ton of water around
They'll
them.
be eaten by something long before that.
Right.
That's fine.
All right. So
Vampire horses.
So what's our plan? What are we doing?
Plan is walk until we
have
get
no
there.
plan.
Yep.
okay, the path pinches a little bit tighter as you
Shouldn't have
go across
taken
about a 10-foot width, and you guys begin pulling across as a sudden large gust of sea air blows in as you guys go ahead and buckle down to hold on. I'd like you all to roll an athletics check.
Are we in mountains yet?
Yes.
You are mountains. You
So
get
I have an advantage?
You get advantage on it.
Sweet.
Me too, Reagan. Mountains are my favorite.
That's true, yeah.
Yes.
What is this? Acrobatics? Athletics.
9.
18.
19.
10.
11.
23.
All right. As you guys are holding tight, both Scanlan and Vex are trying to grab something. They're holding onto rocks, but before they can get enough weight, they're both so small. The
How many
wind
time has passed?
pushes them out.
How many times passed?
This is like 3
minutes?
seconds.
Oh.
A pass since the bridge?
Yeah.
About 5-6 minutes.
Can I try to catch him? Because I still have the telekinesis going. Can I
You
switch
can catch one of them.
Why, Matthew?
Because the spell has to be directed.
Are they flying off a cliff?
It's pounds.
They're both being dragged by the wind off the offside of the cliff. You can see them like grabbing the ground. Vax
change
is
something,
being
can you?
pulled off the side as Scanlan is actually kind of lifted off.
I know
his feet.
Vax can't. I'd grab Vax.
Tell my
Okay.
sister I love her.
I jump and try and grab Vex.
Okay.
Max.
Make it.
You want to hold me?
I'm Vox.
Wait, are you grabbing him? Because if you're grabbing him, then I'll grab him.
I'm Vex.
Sorry, no worries.
Oh, okay,
So you
you
grab
protected
Vax and hold him in place as you reach out and grab Vax by the arms and pull him back onto it.
Wait, who?
Either
You.
one.
You.
Oh, he grabs me.
I grab her.
He
Grab-
stopped you with
Grog
telekinesis
grabs her.
and he reaches
Who the hell
over.
did you with
Grog
telekinesis?
grabbed me.
Scanlan's still
You were
flying
fine
off the
now.
cliff?
I know, but he still said he grabbed me.
Okay. Then you're being held aloft now by Tiberius' telekinesis concentrating. Scanlan has fallen out of view off the side
I
of
grasping
the
behind him before he goes out of view.
I thought he said.
cliff. Okay. It's all right. All right. I will
Side
say.
of the cliff. Huh!
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
And
With
it's
grasping vine.
I can wait. I can manipulate 1,000 pounds.
You've got me.
Make an
Okay.
attack roll.
what?
Yeah.
This is to aim the vine as he falls.
19.
19, not a problem. The vine grabs Scanlan and pulls him back and holds on as the wind slowly dies down.
I got Vax back to
he
the
didn't.
cliff.
Right, you guys.
It's like a bungee.
The wind dies down. You guys now begin pushing yourself very close to the edge of this pathway up the side of the seaside cliff. It doesn't seem to deviate much beyond that 10-15 foot width now, which puts you all at general unease.
Thank you, Keith.
As the sun's getting closer and closer to setting, you're making your way around the crest. You've been traveling this mountain range for a good number of hours now, and you're at a decent height, and you're on foot a good distance inside the Alabaster Sierra mountain range. Perception check, everyone.
Yeah.
5.
4.
3, 2, 1.
25.
26.
29.
25.
I rolled a natural 1 with -2.
Okay.
So
those of you with a higher perception than 20 on this roll,
from Draconia.
As you're pulling along, you hear this echoing sound. This
Oh no.
in the distance, kind of the wind's carrying it as it's blowing past you. And you
Does
don't-
it sound
it's
like
hard to tell
anything
the-
nature-based? Like
Sound like a
bats,
rock.
something I could possibly have talked to in the
Is it
past?
something I would know?
You would.
Does it have a mustache?
Go ahead and make an intelligence check. You go ahead and make an nature check.
Oh yes.
21.
25.
It is birdish in nature, but it sounds too guttural and too articulate to be a bird. There is enough of you notice there's enough of this there's like a language of the chittering that is bird-like, but there is actual voice.
Bird people.
You recall that there are various creatures that make the cliffsides home. One of the ones that are more obnoxious, and that some of the earlier traders of Whitestone had problems with making this path for mining, were clusters of harpies.
Fucking harpies.
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 They're the opposite of the hoppers, which are good.
What's a harpy?
A harpy is a jerk, stupid butthole who is super loud.
You glance over as you guys are having this conversation behind you. You can see in the distance from where you were a couple of these dark shapes like swooping down, and you see a cluster about 4 or 5 of these harpies just
Can we
diving.
find a place to maybe settle
Like
down
burrow?
and get some?
Yeah.
Can we
get
stealth?
burrow in it.
Stealth.
Actually,
I
wait.
cast Pass Without a Trace
Don't worry,
on us.
I can make us all look like cows again.
Oh!
How long is the concentration on Pass Without a Trace? How long is it, can you hold that concentration for?
Up to 1 hour.
Okay.
Where
It's faded since then.
where are we against the mountain? Are we still on the mountain edge?
Yeah, you're still like on the path, and you just look back from where you came from.
So we have like a mountain behind our
Yeah, a
backs.
sheer cliff that goes up probably another 400
I turn
feet.
around and I cast Move Earth, my 6th level fucker, and I clear out like a cave.
Okay. So as you guys are as you're concentrating on this, eventually Keylith begins to focus, and over the next minute or so, she begins to push a.
I cast
cavern.
Pass Without a Trace on us now.
Okay. As this is happening, you're watching what's happening. You can see now the harpies have definitely found some sort of prey, and they're distracted as they're slowly tearing apart. What you're
God, our
gathering
horses.
are the horses you left behind.
I'm saying this all in my head.
Yeah. The good news is they're distracted.
Horses
So let's
saved our
keep-
lives, guys.
Should we
Horses
keep going?
saved our
Should we
lives.
keep going?
Bad news is they're probably not going to be there. when
I'm
you
making
get
It's
back.
getting dark. I think we should camp.
in this cave.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Oh my god.
So over the next few minutes or so, Keylith, you pushed a good like 10 by 15 foot cavern into the side of this wall that didn't previously exist. You guys are able to step out of the light as the sun's just starting to disappear over the mountain range, the cliff keep, which you can see in the distance across this channel now. There's like a channel of water between the two.
I go ahead and druid craft a little campfire. Tiberius,
I'm
you
gonna
wanna
use-
light the fire for us?
Well, I'm gonna use hide in plain sight. I'm gonna see if I can do this. That sort of ability
Yeah.
to kind of camouflage the opening of the cave to where like they wouldn't be able to see it.
Sure. Sure. All right, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Um, 28.
Okay. You take the next 15 minutes or so finding what nearby pieces of brush you can and rocks that have kind of been loosely around the area, and you start setting up this pattern of them that closes off some of the entrance from the smooth opening that Keylith had created. It takes a little ingenuity because it's just a rock opening and there isn't a whole lot of like brush and things around. But you feel you've managed to masquerade it to the point where from a distant eye it would be hard to see that there is an actual cavern there. At this point, though, the sun has set, night has come in, and you guys are sitting within this cavern, hearing just the distant sound of the ocean waves crashing against the bottom of these cliffside coastal fjords.
Me and Tiberius made a fire.
All right, fire is made.
I lit it by spitting on it with fire stuff.
Tiberius forms a relatively useful and effective campfire within this cave. So, you guys.
I want to use my holy oil and dip a couple arrows in the holy oil because I know I can make 3 based on what we've done before.
You can, yes. Do be aware the holy oil will only probably last about a day before it eventually
Oh, really?
Yeah, you
Oh,
want
so I'll do that right before.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
never
one of
mind.
those things where, like, if you just dip it now and leave it, eventually, over time, it'll just either evaporate or drip off of the arrow. So.
Good to know.
While my sister's looking at her shit, I bogart trinket and sort of climb up onto him using like a sleeping bag and cuddle into his softest warm parts and fall asleep.
Trinket at first kind of half asleep, kind of pushes you away, but then kind of recognizes your scent and lets you do
Ganked
it.
my sleeping bag.
Sorry, not sorry.
I'm gonna find a little patch of dust and do a little dust bath real quick.
Okay.
And then I'm going to research. I'm gonna use one of my books of stuffs and start researching liches, just because I want to. That evening.
Okay. I mean, what book would you be researching this in?
Togen Spirit Guide.
The researcher ability is kind of, you can go to places of research and find books.
Oh crap!
You don't really keep like
I'm
a
out of the
tome
place
of
where I can
all
do that.
knowledge with you. So next time you find a town or you're in town, then you
What
can use
about
that
Kate?
ability to research in advance. But just
Can I find a Togen Spirit Guide?
No.
I asked Grog how he's doing.
I'm bored as shit.
You want to arm wrestle?
No.
Alright.
No.
Come on, do it, Grog.
Grog, do you want to just punch
You
me for
can't
no
beat-
reason?
you can't beat a
Oh,
girl.
come on.
Do you guys all rest for the evening?
Yeah.
Okay.
But we should
Is
take
Percy
watch.
still awake?
Is Percy still awake?
Are you still awake?
I'm still awake. I'm going to fall asleep last, so.
I also stay up with Percy.
Okay.
Who's taking first?
I'll take first watch.
Wake
Alright.
me up when you're tired.
I'm gonna feed Lockheed some treats.
Okay. You guys continue your business for the evening.
I talked to Percy for a second.
Go for it.
Percy, while we're alone for a moment,
Yes.
there's something that's been bothering me and I can't get it out of my head. And I thought I'd talk to you about it. Because I feel... We're friends, right? We're friends? Are we friends?
Sure. I'd like to think so, yes.
We've been through a lot, been together a while.
It's been a while, yes.
2 years now?
I suppose.
I go invisible and see if I can hear their conversation.
Okay, go ahead and make perception check.
Perception or stealth or 20.
Oh shit.
Okay. You were keeping relatively low and able to overhear their conversation.
You know, you're a very brilliant person, but
Thank you.
I can't help but feel like I'm being watched right now, but that's... Never mind, just forget I said anything. I can't help but feel like there's something else. There's something more to this that you're not telling us. And I didn't really think of anything until when we were having that fight where Tiberius brutally murdered that old woman. And
I've been trying not to think about it.
as you, yeah, me too. But the one thing that I can't get out of my head was something that you said during that fight. And, you know, for a long time I was like, damn, Percy's got really cool one-liners and he's so smart and I wish I could have cool one-liners. You and Grog have really cool one-liners. And then you said, your soul is now forfeit to the person you shot that night. And I thought, wow, that was an interesting one-liner. And then I
did
thought,
say that, didn't I?
yeah, you did, you know, and for some reason I was the only one who noticed it. And I don't know if that's because I'm just reading into things, if that was just a really awesome but scary and brutal thing to say in the moment, or if there's something deeper that you might be serving.
Honestly, I'll say I've had a number of years thinking about what I would do and what I would say and how I would go about this. This kind of obsession is not healthy, and I know that. And it's no way to live. And I'm sure that was something on the list of things I thought I would say, some attempt to be scary when I met them, as opposed to being scared. I think I was... Again, I don't really remember much because I was so angry. I've never been so angry, and I think I was just trying to sound threatening. And I'd had these dreams before, you know, don't build anything like this without the knowledge that you're... I'm aware that inventing this thing has been a mistake.
What thing?
I pull out my gun.
Wait, what are you saying? You had knowledge? You didn't build that without inspiration? What do you mean?
I've had thoughts about it, but I didn't really think about what I was doing or what I was going to build until I decided to take my revenge. And I'd never thought about building it because I realized what a dangerous idea it was. And I fear that for the day that comes back to haunt me. I don't know what I'll do, but I don't know, I think I was just trying to say something to be intimidating. I honestly didn't even think I was going to kill him. It just happened.
Can I see if he's lying to me?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
17.
17. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Insight really that good?
Yeah, I'm wise as fuck!
And add your charisma modifier.
Yeah. Eloquent, my lady.
Add my charisma modifier? 18.
Best you can tell, he's seeming honest and sharing open-hearted to you. You feel like you've really gotten to the core and truth of what Percy's about.
Well, that settles that.
What?
Keylith.
What'd you say?
You feel you've gotten to the core and truth of what Percy's about.
Yeah.
And perhaps your questioning this has upset him, and you kind of feel like maybe you've pushed this a little too far.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Throw it
I
away.
do regret what happened. And I know he was a bad man, but I hope to never lose my temper like that again.
You got to roleplay that shit. He convinced you.
I still really feel like we're being watched. Do you feel that?
Ever since...
She's like... I don't know.
Honestly, I think we both need sleep.
It's really distracting. Yeah. Well, I love you.
I love you too.
I'm in this with you to the end.
Thank you.
Let's sleep.
Okay. You guys, through your turns, the evening goes by uneventful. Morning comes to you. You could hear the distant caws of seagulls waking you up as the heat from the morning sun begins to eventually hit this side of the cave. Since you're on this side of the mountain, by the time you wake up, you realize the hour is probably a little bit past noon.
Oh shit.
We were
Wake
tired.
It's so dark in here because of the cave thing.
Okay, so wait, Percy, how much further out are we from Whitestone?
Yeah, how much time have we got left?
You gather
first
you
of all?
probably have about a day's worth of travel, and you'll be able to make your way down into the ravine from here. You've come up quite a bit of the mountain range.
About another day before we can camp close enough to attack.
Far.
Let's keep going.
Should we stealth through the mountains just in case they have any kind of lookouts?
Oh, they will have
Will it
lookouts.
matter?
Yes.
Yes.
I cast Pass Without a Trace on us again.
Let's go slower.
And can I? Should we all stealth? Try at least.
Right.
Yes.
Let's keep stealthy.
Okay. You guys gather outside of the cavern and head up, continuing along this path. Eventually, you do notice that the path becomes broken and too steep to continue. It actually falls and tumbles down into this long, sliding ravine. There is a slight kind of rock slide trail that you could climb up and over, and it looks like there is a separate ravine or a separation where the two mountains join that could possibly be traversed.
Let's do it.
But continuing on the seaside path is not going to work. This does bring you inward towards the maybe a little further south than you would have wanted to for an optimal backdoor entrance into Whitestone, but it's about your only path.
Have I walked this path before? I never walked this path.
You would have had no reason to walk this path. You've heard about it, you know of like this side of the mountain range, but based on your history, there was no reason you would have come here.
Whatever it takes to get into that back door.
Everyone make a stealth check, by the way, just so we're aware of what your stealth rolls are with the path of trace.
Add 10 to it.
Yep.
10. Oh, well, I got a 40 then.
Okay.
27.
27.
9.
With the 10?
Oh,
Add
19.
19, okay.
32.
32.
27.
37.
That's a pretty good spread. All right.
Hey, look at that. We're twinsies.
So you guys, you've hit the edge of the path. Are you heading up the rockslide trail?
Yes.
Okay. You all, one by one, begin to climb over the trail, and some rocks kind of tumble and are loose beneath your feet, grasp, and you kind of help each other get to the very top.
I use my mage hand to help me.
That's adorable.
As he looks at the clock. That's adorable.
I grab a
Okay.
rock.
So, you all eventually manage to make it over the top of the rockslide trail, and eventually it leads into what is where these two large mountains come together, and there is a small path that leads between it, kind of winds and travels downward. You can see bits of the rock have fallen and crumpled, and there are small boulders and such that just over time and through erosion have tumbled down this ravine to start filling it with occasional chunks of stone. You begin walking through this ravine for another good 45 minutes to an hour, keeping a keen eye out. Okay.
Is this the same ravine? We're looking
The
at,
eyebrows.
Traveling across?
This is basically, you guys have been traveling up the
They
side
go
of the
down.
coast. You've now turned inward over the mountain range to head down into the valley of Whitestone. You are currently just now heading up through the mountain range, inwards towards the valley.
Is this the river? This is the river?
There's no river here.
there's
It's
just
just stone that comes together for a pathway in between. This is where two large peaks of the mountains basically come to join at the bottom.
Okay, so we're not at the river.
I shall name this
No,
path.
the river is actually inside the valley into the south of Whitestone. So
It's cool.
So pressing down, I would like you all to roll a perception check.
Jesus.
That's not great.
One.
Oh,
One.
natural 20!
Natural 20! Yay!
20, 20.
14.
16.
Okay. As all of you guys are trudging forward, both Vex and Vax, you kind of hear this slight noise of a couple rocks down the ravine behind you. You both turn and look.
Your ears twitching.
And for a split second, you swear you see between
There's a
some of
voice in the
the rocks and paths of jagged stone that mark the walls of this ravine. You see a quick blur of blue that vanishes behind a higher platform above you.
Smurfs.
Blur of blue?
What is it?
Everybody should
A large blur of blue just disappear behind one of the outcroppings that's kind of blocking your view of higher up the ravine.
I cast Stone Skin.
Okay.
Stealth.
As
Fasten my cloak of displacement.
And I
you guys prepare for a second, and as you're all paying attention, you guys also see another shift of blue go, like go across the way. And this time you see it's something large and blue that moves across the stone and goes into a small cavern. It looks about 25 feet up on the way. That's just past your visual range from this low in the ravine.
Do we have any kind of visual on what it could be?
It moved very quickly, and for a split second, you could see it appeared to be. The way it moved was almost serpentine, like and vanished inside. You swear you saw limbs, though. It wasn't a giant snake. There was something attached to it.
I look at Keylith.
What?
And I whisper, but for sake of microphones.
Yeah. Do you know of a creature that's blue and fast and is kind of snaky but has arms and legs? Let me think about it for a second. Do I know a creature that's blue and snaky?
It sounds like
Fast.
basilisks, but they're too slow.
Super fast.
What did you roll?
I don't know. It's 24.
It could be a
24.
Naga as well.
Yes.
You've heard of various, lizard-like creatures that can grow to large sizes. Usually those fall into the realm of dragons and such. The color blue, though, is uncommon unless it were a blue dragon.
Would I have a
however,
theory?
the motion of this creature does not seem to necessarily be the territory of a blue dragon. You're hard to point exactly what this is, but you do know it's probably something in the serpentine type magical realm.
I heard them describe it. Would I know it from the description, just from my local knowledge?
Go ahead and make a history check.
The blue thing's weird. The blue thing is what's throwing me.
9.
Unfortunately, nothing of this type has come across here. If it has, it's been too long and you've forgotten it. There are a number of dangerous things that exist in these mountains.
Really good idea. Wait. Okay.
Grog.
Wait, yes.
Call him out.
No. Grog, pick up something really heavy and throw it as far as you can.
I go over and I grab Scanlan.
No!
No.
But bolder.
Oh,
Something
I
not
put
living.
Scanlan down. Okay. I find a large rock.
Really far,
That's tumbled down, maybe.
Really
Yeah,
far.
there's like they're easy to find. There's like some that are this big, some that are larger, that are really heavy.
And I like discus the thing and.
And everybody duck down.
Athletics
As
check.
quiet as possible.
Shoot. That was great.
Woo!
24.
Nice.
Whoosh, you release the rock. Skids to a halt. As that does, you'd see suddenly over the course something very quickly moves, and it's a head. It's a snout. You see, it's probably a good 6-7 foot wide. A giant lizard-like toothy jaw. Blue scales against it with large kind of horned ridges across the back of its head, and its claws on the edge. Looks down at the rest of you. Rears back.
It saw us?
It saw us?
Didn't see
But-
me.
Well, of course it's sauce.
We're 37 stealth, yo! It saw us! Holy.
But it didn't seem to give a shit?
It just withdrew over the edge of the.
Should we run? We can
Maybe just
proceed.
move really fast away from it.
Alright, let's
I
go.
can cast anti-life shell on us, and we can just haul ass really fast.
Will it move with us, your shell?
Yeah, as long as you stay close to me. Yeah,
It moves with me.
we're in a group.
Yeah, fuck this thing. Do it. Just get out of there.
Okay, I cast anti-life shell. Stay close. Okay.
Okay. As you begin casting, finish the spell as the sphere appears. At which point you now see a large blue blur dart off of the cliffside in the air, and skidding right in the front of you guys, blocking off the side of the ravine you guys are running towards. You can now see it. A huge, elongated serpentine body covered in blue scales and horns. You can see what looks to be 6 to 8 arms and a series of legs all across its long, snake-like torso. As it looks and snarls at you all, and you see sparks of energy, like electricity.
No. It's like a
in its
lightning
jaw.
creature.
Salamander?
That's where we're gonna end.
Oh, jeez Louise!
Can't do that.
I can because it's 10:30.
No, it's not. It's like 8:45.
We can keep going if you guys want to stay long, but it's Thursday night. Got flights tomorrow to be near Comic Con.
I was gonna name.
I'm coming in with my laptop before you continue.
Who's that guy?
But to give you a little perspective, that is what essentially leads.
Oh, what the hell? Dragon.
What the fuck?
No, that's a.
It's got so many arms.
That's kobold.
Yeah, totally. Kobold.
Oh yeah. Guys, have fun in New York.
Hey,
Yeah, come and see us.
Come and see us in New York.
Yeah, come see us Saturday. Come see us
Be
Sunday.
there tomorrow.
yeah.
At the Wikia stage or at Forbidden Planet?
Yeah, either or.
I think we're yeah.
Sweet. Do it. Go see them.
Forbidden Planet. Sunday.
Okay, so we have some donations to get through.
Alrighty.
And then after donations, we're going to play some videos of fan art that's been sent to us.
Yes. Nice. There it is.
Yes.
So we going to mention it?
Yeah, just name it.
Okay.
didn't
We
do it
have
for
donated
nothing.
tonight
Man,
to,
worked very hard on
Extra
that.
Life, guys. We have Malaki Olden donated $50. Thank you so much. That's an amazing donation. Chris Smith donated $20. Thank you, Chris. That's fantastic. Sam Falco donated $25. Really appreciate that, Sam. Anonymous also donated $25. Whoever you are, thank you so much.
Anonymous.
John Gillahan donated $100. John, really appreciate that, buddy. Tess Tiffy donated $15. Thank you, Tess. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Another anonymous individual donated $40. Whoever you are, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Doug Dale donated $25. Julie. Christopher Porter donated $25. Chris, you're awesome.
Chris Porter.
Emma Engvist donated $50. Well played, and thank you. Xanadu UK donated $50. Really appreciate that. John Reap donated $15. John, really appreciate that.
Happy birthday, John.
Oh!
Happy birthday,
John!
Wendy's birthday.
It's also Wendy.
It is Wendy's birthday.
Wendy's birthday.
Sullivan
Happy
Queen's
birthday,
Happy
Wendy.
birthday, Wendy. We've got a lot of birthdays.
Yes.
Thank you, Wendy.
John Bizzetta donated $10. Thank you so much, John.
John,
Tim Pearson donated $25. Tim, really appreciate that.
Hold on, Ryan. Go home. Have to clean. No, it's Wendy's birthday. Go home.
Get
Go home. Go home. Get out of here. We'll do that. Go home.
Give her a birthday
He's
giving you
present.
an out, just take it, man.
Fuck off. We don't want you here today. Go home.
I'll go home. Get out of here, man. Go say hello to Wendy for
I mean, we love you, but get out of here.
Just tell Wendy we all said happy birthday.
I'll let her know that everyone says happy birthday
Yes.
to Wendy, also known as Wendy Doodles.
Yes.
Yes.
Go
Who's
follow
doing
her
amazing
on
things.
I'm leaving.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Vin Cow donated $10. Thank you so much, Vin. Really appreciate that. Laura, I already said 10. But Tim, thank you again. Lauren De Cristofaro donated $33.33.
Thank
I like
you.
the threes. Thank you very much, Lauren. Richard Redmond donated $35. Richard, really appreciate the donation, buddy. David Bautista made a donation. A mysterious number in the ether. Thank you so much, David. Jane Larson donated $20.05. The nickels extra. I like that. Thank you, Jane. Evan Knowles donated $50. Thank you so much, Evan.
That's
Megan
Beyonce's
Elliott
cousin.
donated $100 to Extra Life.
Thank
Megan,
you.
really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Killer Penguin returns the $25 donation. Killer Penguin, always awesome. Seeing you,
Kill those penguins.
Maxine Poliquin donated $13.37 because that's elite, yo. Awesome. Thank you so much, Maxine. Christian Broughton donated $22.22. I'm liking always playing with the numbers here. Thank you so much. Christian, I really appreciate that. Stephen Sudabon Davis donated $100. Really appreciate that,
Awesome.
Stephen. Joseph Obricki, I hope I said that right. Made a donation. Really appreciate that, Joseph. Nicholas Owens donated $25. Nicholas, really appreciate the support. Amy Karanko donated $25. Amy, that's awesome. Really, thank you. Crystal Hupp donated $25 as well. Crystal, thank you. A bunch of anonymous donations for $200, $5, $25, $25.11, $58.44. All of you anonymous guys are fantastic. Whoever you are, really thank you
so much.
So that was those, and the winner of our 9200 giveaway was Rondir.
Makar Irandir.
Yep.
What up?
Yes.
Congratulations, Makar. Really appreciate that. And I hope you'll enjoy your prize there.
Oh my gosh.
So, guys, we get to return next week for you to fight this thing.
Oh, that's scary.
Fuck that is.
That'll be fun.
It's like reload.
We'll see you guys who are coming out to New York Comic Con this weekend. Once again,
Yay.
reminding you, it is noon to 2 p.m. on Saturday at. Where's the room again?
Noon to 2 on Saturday. Is it the Wikia stage? The Wikia
Wikia
stage.
stage.
Yeah.
And on Sunday.
Sunday, Forbidden Planet, one of the best comic book stores in the world.
2:30 to 4:30.
2:30 to 4:30 on Sunday at Forbidden Planet Comics. So hopefully see you guys there.
Matthew, hold that bleak and
Poster
whatever
again.
the poster up again.
A beautiful
Show that
poster that we got made, and it's lovely, and I think you guys will love it.
just like the box that got me into Dungeons and Dragons. It's red box inspired and it's beautiful.
Come check out our box,
Yeah,
guys.
and there's only 150 printed, so it's the first people that get it are the people that get it.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's very
You
good.
guys, thank you
Bless
so much.
us.
And can I say one more time to everyone who's been donating to our Extra Life campaign, thank you so much. We are now over $76,000 total. We're going until November. We will have another push with Nerdist on October 24th. It'll be a 24-hour stream. Nerdist will be hosting that one, and we will be guesting on it. Some of us Twitch hosts. It's going really well. Brent at Extra Life said that we are officially the largest
single entity
group that's ever given them that amount.
That's
from-
inspiring, man.
And the total for Los Angeles last year was just over 100,000, so we're
113,000.
probably going to pass that, which is
awesome.
15,000.
We're boss.
Who knows, who knows why this is happening?
76,000.
Who knows why this is happening, but it's happening, and thank you for watching, and thank you for giving, and that is an amazing cause to give to. Congratulations.
Really, guys, sincerely, thank you all so much. Well, anything else before we sign off?
I have one more errand to just do
No.
before. Okay.
No.
You're good.
I want to buy.
I've got things to buy at New York Comic Con. I'm going to
Oh,
buy
there we go.
myself a new T-shirt.
You can do all the errands you want at your
I want
Comic
to buy
Con.
some caltrops.
So many dice.
I'm going to buy a YOLO T-shirt.
There you go.
Dice.
All right, guys, we shall return next week, starting with that fight, that battle, and the party's descent into Whitestone to face off against the Briarwoods.
Ascent to victory.
Briarwoods!
Woo! Descent into the valley.
Oh god.
We shall see. I'm excited.
Right.
Hope
I'm
you're
so excited.
too. It's gonna be fun. All right, guys, have a wonderful week. If you see this weekend, if not, next Thursday. Is it Thursday yet?
Is it
Much
Thursday
love.
yet? So
Good night.
wrong.
I
Bye, guys.